All right, everybody. How we doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I got 3 hours of sleep.
It's great.
Maybe, I
I
think.
love my wife.
Yeah,
I think she tolerates me.
about 3 hours. It was solid. Hello? Can you guys hear me? I turned the sound down because this protest is just getting going. Nothing's really happening in the
You
background.
are.
You just kind of riffing. This protest is taking place in Seattle. We got anti-war protests popping up. Anti-war protests are popping up. We got one in Minneapolis today too. However, the situation with my vehicle has not changed, so I can't even go downtown, so I'm going to be at home. But there is an anti-war protest taking place in Minneapolis at 7 o'clock. So if there's any streamers that are out there, I'll try to get you guys, who's going and what's what and what's happening. In terms of the Minneapolis protest. So I think we're going to be having some pop up here tonight. We had one in New York City, but I was away from the stream during that. Let me pull this up here. We're live in Tel Aviv. Live in Tel Aviv. Still got that feed up for you guys. Plus, we got some things to go over today that we missed after I went to bed. Good evening, good evening. Yeah, it's very warm in Minneapolis. It is very warm. This up here. Let me open this up. Oh, perfect. Worked perfectly. Welcome. That's where you got sleep from. Got 20 hours. Oh, boy. You got 20 hours of sleep. I don't even know what to do with all of that. These guys are just checking in this morning. We had the press conference with Pete Hegseth and information kind of coming in from Marco Rubio and other politicians on the Sunday morning shows. So you can check that stream out. We reacted to it. Already happened. I saw somebody notify me that we do have a Trump press conference if possible, but I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen. So the other big post says, as time has gone on here, as time has advanced, there's newer truths than that. Oh, he has it pinned. Okay. So we've had a few unhinged ones, but we can go to like the latest for now. We can go to like the latest one about regime change. And Donald Trump goes, it's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? Miga. Real tweet or truth. Yeah, man, I wonder what Trump has to say for himself after all these blunderous behavior. I'm showing you. This is what he has to say. So we went from we're not doing regime change after we watched today, this morning, J.D. Vance went on multiple news shows. It said we're not going to be doing a regime change in Iran. And then here the president goes, of course we are. Why wouldn't there be? Miga. Make Iran great again, guys. The regime change thing is funny because Vance would, I was just talking about that, Swink McLeod, as you guys are checking in here. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Yeah, we watched it this morning. Go rewatch if you would like to. After the stream. We watched him and Rubio. We didn't watch the whole Rubio segment because it wasn't posted yet, but we watched a couple clips of JD Vance, and then we watched the whole segment on Meet the Press. And he said we're not doing regime change, we're not at war, we're at war with Iran's nuclear capabilities. And then you have the president of the United States literally going, what, we're going to do a regime change. Why wouldn't there be? Also had the video of the B-2s landing safely in Missouri. I got a video of that for you guys. Right here. So this came in like 3 hours ago. 36-hour flight. Do they have like, do they like just shit themselves? Do they have like wear diapers probably? And they're in that thing for 36 hours. It's a long time. Hello, Good Huffs. How you doing? Well, this was the video of the... hide this quick. Oops, not that. Video of the B-2 coming in. At least one of them. They have bathrooms and microwaves in the B-2. There's bathrooms in it? Oh, okay. Kind of loud with the wind. Sorry, we can turn it down a little bit. Don't need that loud of wind. Well, there it was, just landed a few hours ago. Hello, Jenny. Yep, B-2 Spirit. 7 of them, as we learned. Okay, 7 of them, as we have learned. There it is, Operation Midnight Hammer. I feel like we learned this yesterday, but it was this morning. That time doesn't make any sense to me now. There is no time. Time is a construct. But there it was, in case you missed it. I'm just going to catch you guys up. But I highly recommend just going back and rewatching the press conference as we watched it. Pete Hegseth didn't say anything profound, just a lot of Donald Trump glazing and how he's the best and the greatest. And we got more information from... hold on. What's his name? General. I gotta get his general name correctly. I think it was like President Stewart. It was like Kane. Make sure I get it right. Probably gonna be a lot of posts today. Make sure I get his name correct. Not that one. Sorry for getting dizzy. Kane. I was going to say Canes for some reason. Yeah, Raising Cain. I was going to say Canes, and that would have sounded silly. So I wanted to make sure I got it right. Kane. But he had more to offer in the press conference when it came to information. Trump glaze and then actual operational information, like the number of bombers that were used, the timeline and scope and scale of the operation. So when it comes to regime change, okay, obviously a lot of Trump supporters and MAGA voted for Trump because he sold himself as a guy that's gonna be anti-war. And so to have him outright just post, hey, we're gonna do regime change, it's politically incorrect, or it's not politically correct to say regime change, but we're gonna do it anyways. Satora Aripo says, we love you, God. Donald J. Trump, 6/21/25. Yep. MEGA, make Iran great again. Bell, California, suburb of Los Angeles, successfully drove ICE out of town. Share this because freedom is contagious, says Boycott. What's going on in LA? Is something happening in LA? Am I missing it? There's protests in Seattle I got up right now. Is there ICE protests in LA right now? Lindsey Graham, while we're still on the topic of the war impending and U.S. joining it, as usual, President Trump is spot on with his desire to make Iran great again by changing the regime either through their behavior or new leadership. Boy. Yeah, I figured it was pretty chill. I haven't seen anything for protests or anything pop up. As President Trump suggested, who in their right mind would want this regime to continue the status quo, attacking their neighbors, oppressing their people, and being the largest state sponsor of terrorism on the planet? I would think that's Russia. That's not going to be Iran there. It would be Iran for Israel. For Israel. For sure. No, not arguing that. But for the world, though? I don't know about that, Lindsey Graham. Count me in for any way possible to make Iran great again by making it decent again. Wow. Guys, I thought cheaper groceries. I thought cheaper eggs, gas prices continuing where Biden left off on the economy, which was good. You can cope and seethe, but it was good. And all of that is not happening. It's like the exact opposite of everything. Damn, dude, I wish someone would have told us that this was going to happen. Man, I really wish that there was like warning signs. Man, someone should start a YouTube channel and start talking about what could happen and then make a lot of people upset doing it because you're going to sound biased, but it's just the truth. Man. Holy. Regime change, guys. That's the topic we're on. Again, here it was Marco Rubio earlier.
So this mission was a very precise mission. It had 3 objectives, 3 nuclear sites. It was not an attack on Iran. It was not an attack on the Iranian people.
Oh, you thought MIGA was... No, it's make Iran great again. That's on purpose. Everything is great again now. Everything gets a great again.
This wasn't a regime change move. This was designed to degrade and or destroy 3 nuclear sites related to their nuclear weaponization ambitions. So
you got Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, saying, no regime change. We're not doing that. Donald Trump. Well, why wouldn't there be? Duh. Are you stupid? Of course they're doing regime change. Me in chat this morning had predicted a potential expansion of the war, and I said, hey, I don't think this will be the end. And many in the chat agreed. This is the start. Here was JD Vance. Same thing. We watched all this morning, but here's just some clips.
But our view has been very clear that we don't want a regime change. We do not want to protract this or build this out any more than it's already been built out. We want to end their nuclear program, and then we want to talk to the Iranians about a long-term settlement here. We believe...
Mods, we need the JD Vance meme for an emoji. You know, we can swap out, Daddy Jim, thank you. We can swap that one out and put we need JD Vance memes in there.
Very strongly that there are 2 pathways. There's a pathway where Iran continues to fund terrorism, continues to try to build a nuclear program, attacks American troops. That's the bad pathway for Iran, and it will be met with overwhelming force. There's another pathway on the table here. There's a pathway where Iran integrates itself into the international community, stops funding terrorism, and stops trying to pursue a nuclear weapon. This is a reset. This is an opportunity for the Iranians to take the smart path. We certainly hope that they will.
Okay. So that was this morning. No regime change. We're not at war with Iran. We're at war with their nuclear facilities. We're at war with their bases, guys. Trump. Why wouldn't there be? Crazy. So the airstrikes didn't destroy anything, and regime change is indeed the goal. Duh. When you look at the picture, you gotta like look hard to find it. Just gotta squint and find 5 things that are different to win. Oh, duh. Got charring on there. Wow. Well, the facility is just like untouched. Still there. You said SoCal Shorts is up. Okay. Probably gonna have some anti-war protests popping up here. Yep. Oh boy, here we go. Let's go.
Correct.
Oh boy.
And I want to introduce next an organizer who has been organizing against
Here we
war
go.
since the Vietnam War. I want to introduce an organizer who's a founding member of the Answer Coalition, who has stood up against the criminal invasions of Iraq, Afghanistan, and so many other countries. Please welcome Preston.
Back in LA we go. Back in LA. Just when we thought we were out, we're back in I will take a vacation to LA. I have to. We've been here so much. Not right now, though. Later.
This is sitting in a city, a beautiful city, a international city that's under siege, not by mobs, angry mobs, not by immigrants, not by gangsters, but by police and federal troops that have been brought into the city to deny us our right to speak up on what's right for our people.
Those are the Marines. Okay. So that's the Marine Corps.
Our immigrant sisters and brothers who keep this city going, they're under attack, been snatched, children being snatched from their parents. So on top of that, what do we have? Within the bed last night, we woke up and another war has been started.
Oh, yeah.
Another war by Trump and his associates under the guidance of the racist Israeli state.
So this is at the. This is in Westwood. This is in Westwood at the VA facility.
People around the world are speaking out against this atrocity that's going on in Iran. Iran has done nothing for the United States. The United States has been menacing the Middle East for decades, as well as Africa and elsewhere in the world. And we're going to stand up.
So you guys can see the Marines are still in LA.
Everywhere. Right? And we're going to win. Because history is on our side, and we are stronger. Answer stands for act now to stop war and end racism. And to stop the wars or stop racism, it takes us. Can we do it? Can we do it?
So they're right here. They're right here in Westwood at the passport agency. Right here. That's the corner they're standing at in LA.
That's itself a crime against humanity. And what happened last night was this horrifying overkill in Iran by the United States Air Force is a crime against humanity. It's a threat to the existence of our planet. We have to take it seriously and fight hard to stop it. Many of my older comrades who are here today, myself included, we were here every week fighting the war in Iraq.
What up, Suzanne? Thank you so much.
That's what they do, right? They demonize people. They demonize stuff. They demonize the people of Iraq. Which does not mean to anybody. And they started a bloodthirsty genocidal war in Iraq. We came out to this plaza every week during that war to protest, and we have to keep demonstrating here in our aircraft, Los Angeles, to show our
They got more Marines coming out, or what? They got riot Marines coming out? What the heck?
not going to be intimidated by the police.
They got shields and shit coming out.
We'll have a peaceful world with a system that provides for the needs of everybody. As many speakers have said, there's plenty of money. It's going to the Obama. It's going to the health of the billionaire class.
Everybody check into the stream. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
So together we're going to stand. We're going to stand united. We're going to win. Hang in there. We can do it, right? Give it up for Preston. What this shows you, folks, is we're not alone historically. Historically, there has always been an anti-war movement. You're part of a legacy. You're part of a history. And today we're making history by being the people to step out and say, they will not drag us into a new world war. They will not drag us into a war on Iran. And in fact, we're out here for the people who have been affected by the war on immigrants, the war on Black America, the war on indigenous peoples across this country, and all of these wars that have devastated our populations. But do you believe in a better future? Do you believe we can build that better future? All right, folks, let's keep that optimism, let's keep that energy.
Tel Aviv and LA both up now, guys.
And next up, I want to introduce a person who is actually actually
Hello, everybody.
coming
Hello.
from
What up?
the
What up,
experience of
Michigan?
being a veteran. Someone who has had to take on a duty, but now understands their duty to fight against endless wars.
Hello, everybody. Another beautiful day in LA.
Go ahead and speak.
What's the countdown clock? It's not a countdown. It's what time it is in Tel Aviv.
Not for wars and deportation. Not for wars and deportation. Y'all sound awesome.
There might be some rocket fire tonight. There was last night, so I just keep the time up in Tel Aviv in the bottom right, so you can see that. I also have the feed up with Tel Aviv in the top right.
To forward a war with Iran.
Of course, Daddy Jim. Thank you so much for your support.
Money into the kidnapping and mass deportation of immigrants, into military parades to further their fascist propaganda, and to further the devastation of Gaza at the hands of Netanyahu and the IDF. Say it one more time for me. Shame! Shame! Our communities go hungry due to inflation and tariffs.
All good,
Our
Katie. Welcome
children
back.
are losing more and more access to a proper education. Our infrastructure is failing, and planes are falling out of the sky. And what does our government do to address these issues?
Not a damn thing.
They drop bombs, unprovoked, on a country who has been begging them to come to the table to discuss a deal. Shame! And I can't help but think about my fellow service members, those who would be fighting this unnecessary war, while these things weigh heavy on their minds. This life is what you'd be fighting for, and what you'd hold.
All right, poll is up in the chat.
We don't want them to go in the first place, right?
Gonna pull up on Twitch
We
too.
want them home, right? Military recruitment is the worst it's been in a very long time. Retention? Of course you're gonna stay in, so you can be abused by your commands and at the whim of government officials who don't care about you. Because it's at least some kind of a paycheck in a country where those are getting increasingly harder to come by. And when you do get out, receiving benefits that you were promised, that you signed up for, is getting harder and harder every day, y'all.
That's right.
They're always moving goalposts for us. Our therapy notes no longer fall under patient confidentiality. You're single with no kids or not conservative, they're working on being able to turn you away. The VA has always been understaffed, but they're refusing to hire professionals who support labor unions or who don't enjoy taking their MAGA red, white, and blue bull crap. Yeah, you know what I was about to say. Sorry, y'all. This is what
This is
they're going
live
to
in
the
Los
working class
Angeles
people
today,
of this
guys.
country fight for. Because we all know our draft dodger president isn't going to send his buddies' kids. So much for land is free. But it was never free, was it? Was it free during the 200 years where it was legal to own a human being? Or how about when workers had no rights and were dying in coal mines? What about in Vietnam when young men were drafted to die in another one of the many wars we had no business being in? No! When have the working class people of America as a whole ever been free? Never! Say it for me one more time. Never! What if our shipmates, or battle buddies, or whatever the Air Force calls each other? If you know, tell me. What have they been dying for all of these years?
Airmen.
What are we risking sending them to die for now? To keep these billionaire criminals rich? People have asked me, Joy, why the Coast Guard? Well, it's funny to tell them I like the idea of being a pirate. Those for many of the same reasons everyone joins. Healthcare, education, a career after I got out. The idea that when I did get out, I'd have my service history to fall back on. Well, yes, free appetizers at Applebee's on Veterans Day sounds like a good deal. It wasn't worth it. I don't often look back on my service fondly, unless I'm sharing sea stories with another vet, or reminiscing about some random port call with a friend. There isn't really a whole lot of pride either. Our service doesn't make us special when it feels like the best or only option. What does fill me with pride, though, is being here with all of you. Give yourselves a round of applause. You deserve it. Fighting for a true, tangible American dream. One that doesn't involve us being the world's watchdog, but where our people are taken care of, and our community doesn't have to feel like their best option is to sign themselves
Yep,
away
Minneapolis,
to
7 p.m. tonight in Lorraine Park.
This is the real fight. This is the one to concentrate on. Not whatever Trump and his cronies are cooking up right now.
We can't allow their fear-mongering propaganda get us into this conflict, just like we can't allow our communities to fall for it either. Talk to the people in your lives. Talk to the people standing next to you. Our strength is in each other. Now I have a question for everyone, and that is, who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
That's right. We've been keeping ourselves safe. We've been keeping our workers safe, our immigrant community safe, and now we need to keep our service folks safe by making sure we can do everything we can to let those in power know that we do not support this war. We will never support this war, and we will not stop until we win. Get organized, stay in the streets, and let them know we are not going to let this become Iraq 2.0. We are not going to buy this lie again.
Hello, everybody. Hello. It's too humid, hot and humid to go outside Minneapolis.
Jobs and education.
A lot of people out there, probably.
Not for wars or deportation. Thanks, guys.
Hey, good Huffs. Thank you so much for the 10.
Thank you so much. And now everyone got to hear it from a veteran that there are veterans against this type of genocidal war. United, we can stop this war because it's been done in the past. We have lessons from history. When you combine international solidarity and the view that all humans have equal value.
So you got the State Department issuing worldwide alert, urging citizens to exercise caution.
When you combine forces, that is how we win. That's why we brought this together today. That's why there's so many organizations represented. That's why we have the Veterans Against Fascism, the Veterans Against War.
Here it is, really quick. So really quick, we'll come back to that in a second. U.S. State Department issued a worldwide security alert on Sunday. Okay, really quick, we'll come back to that. On Sunday, advising U.S. citizens to take caution and warning of potential demonstrations against U.S. citizens and interests abroad. It's like, man, I know I was a kid when War on Terror started, but this kind of feels like copy paste. The conflict between Israel and Iran has resulted in disruptions to travel and periodic closure of airspace across the Middle East. There is the potential of demonstrations against U.S. citizens and interests abroad. The Department of State advises U.S. citizens worldwide to exercise increased caution. The advisory urges U.S. citizens to review country-specific information and recently security alerts when planning travel on the department's website. The alert comes after the Department of Homeland Security warned of a heightened threat environment in the U.S., citing the possibility of low-level cyber attacks and continued potential of lone wolf attacks following the U.S. strikes against Iran. Incredible. So any U.S. citizens abroad, you got increased security alert, which is, I mean, natural. I believe. I mean, unnatural with how it was carried out, right, and how Trump put us into the situation. But after these strikes are carried out, this is likely what's going to happen. Any Americans that are abroad, your danger now goes up because of these actions. It's one of the consequences. We talked about that this morning. I mean, the ripple effects, people that think this is going to be like a quick thing, quick victory, easy money, no problem. It never goes like that. It never goes like that. World waits Iranian. Exactly. That's what we're all truly waiting on. Actually, well, more from Trump, but we're waiting for Iran's response and what that will look like. Okay, guys. So we're getting all the latest news and information coming in, but we're also live with protests. We got one in LA. Any other cities that you guys see protesting? I'm looking on the side right now. But any other ones? We got Minneapolis at 7 p.m. Central, which would be 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll get my truck fixed tomorrow. So starting tomorrow, I'll be able to drive all over the cities again, but I'm locked in and I'm not spending $100 on Uber to go downtown. Okay. We can save that money and put it towards fixing my truck tomorrow. So I'll hopefully one of the streamers I know will be out there in Minneapolis. I can share their stream.
This terror began a week ago for Iranians, but it has been unrelenting for Palestinians for the past 20 months. We have watched Israel kill and target Palestinian civilians, journalists, aid centers with impunity, and now they have attacked Iranian research centers with bunker bisters and missiles. Enough is enough. We the people do not want to be dragged into another war. We do not want more blood on our hands. What are the facts? How did we get here? We targeted any nation who has been a part of a decolonial movement since World War II, from Yemen to Iraq. The U.S. leaders have dropped such enormous amounts of depleted uranium on our brothers and sisters in Iraq that today, years later, women are still giving birth to babies with birth defects. Shame! The U.S. has multiple nuclear weapons that they have actively deployed on civilians. Meanwhile, Iran has none! We have only, as Iranians, allowed Western inspections on our facilities and pursued civilian nuclear programs. Netanyahu and Trump have spit in the face of every diplomatic solution that would promise recovery for Palestinians. War criminals! Netanyahu, Biden, Trump have dehumanized the Middle Eastern region with every flick of their pen and direction of a missile. They have never wanted peace in Lebanon, in Iraq, in Afghanistan. They want more deep stabilization to control our regions and be the final puppet master. We say no more. No more. The wealthy U.S. politicians, however, have made a serious miscalculation. They have failed to recognize that millions of people are rising up in the streets of Los Angeles against ICE, against militarization, and against Zionist brutality. We reject the poverty draft that sends the most vulnerable into war, and we reject the dehumanizing rhetoric against the Middle East. We are duty-bound to carry the anti-war legacy forward. We are duty-bound to build a mass movement with all segments of society, from cultural workers to engineers, anyone who wants a better future for their children. We stand against wars of imperialists, against economic strangleholds through sanctions, and any external interventions.
I got this for you guys too. All right, as we're listening to a protest in L.A. as predicted this morning, right, the Strait of Hormuz status was shut down, which is going to increase the price of oil. Oil futures surged as much as 5% on Sunday after U.S. strikes on Iran's 3 main nuclear sites intensified fears of potential supply shock amid growing concerns that Tehran could retaliate by closing a key maritime checkpoint. Brent crude, the international benchmark, gained as much as 5.7%. Okay, some numbers there. West Texas intermediate futures also jumped more than 4% to hover around $77 a barrel. Oil prices had already posted weekly gains on Friday following the outbreak of the conflict between Israel and Iran just over a week ago. So that means like gas prices are going to go up, guys. That's what that means. It means your gas is going to go up.
Behind the Civil War drive. Very, very important to understand how many nuclear weapons the United States has. Thousands and thousands of them. And it thinks it can attack another country that doesn't even have them, and making it clear that they are not producing. What kind of hypocrisy is that? We won't stand for it. And next up, I want to introduce another.
What do you guys think of What do you guys think of Donald Trump?
A free speech channel. I have to be down here, and I don't want to be in a riot channel. So people can read what's on my screen.
What do you guys think of Donald Trump calling out Thomas Massie? Or what do you guys think of Thomas Massie? I think he's out, like I as predicted earlier too. Trump went off on him. Look at this. Wrote a biblical style message here, size, like lots of words. Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky is not MAGA, even though he likes to say he is. Actually, MAGA doesn't want him, doesn't know him, doesn't respect him. He's a negative force who almost always votes no matter how good something may be. He's a simple-minded grandstander who thinks it's good politics for Iran to have the highest level nuclear weapon, while at the same time yelling death to America at every chance they get. Iran has killed and maimed thousands of Americans. It even took over the American embassy in Tehran under the Carter administration. We had a spectacular military success yesterday, taking the bomb right out of their hands, and they would use it if they could. But as usual, and despite all of the praise and accolades received, this lightweight congressman is against what was so brilliantly achieved last night in Iran. Massie is weak, ineffective, and votes no on virtually everything put before him. Rand Paul Jr. No matter how good something may be, he is disrespectful to our great military and all they stand for, not even acknowledging their brilliance and bravery in yesterday's attack, which was a total and complete win. Massie should drop his fake act and start putting America first, but he doesn't know how to get there. He doesn't have a clue. He'll undoubtedly vote against the great, big, beautiful bill, even though non-passage means 68% tax increase for everybody, and many things far worse than that. MAGA should drop this pathetic loser, Tom Massie, like the plague. The good news is that we will have a wonderful American patriot running against him in the Republican primary, and I'll be out in Kentucky campaigning really hard. MAGA is not about lazy, grandstanding, non-productive politicians, of which Thomas Massie is definitely one. Thank you to our incredible military for the amazing job they did last night. It was really special. Make America great again. Holy. So Massie's out of MAGA. No more MAGA for Massie. MAGA-less Massie. He went on program. We got the full clip today of Thomas Massie with Ro Khanna. Let's get that really quick. Then we can go back to the protests and also look for some more here. It was on Face the Nation this morning.
Welcome back to Face the Nation. Democrat Ro Khanna joins us from San Francisco, and here in studio is Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie. And good morning to both of you, gentlemen. I'll start with you, Congressman Massie. You know, I know this is an unlikely pairing. You are on completely different ends of the political spectrum, but you both worked on this war powers resolution to prohibit U.S. forces from engaging in hostilities against Iran without authorization from Congress. The president just blew right past that.
Well, you know, I think I represent part of the coalition that elected President Trump. We were tired of endless wars in the Middle East and tired of wars in Eastern Europe. And we were promised that we would put our veterans, our immigration policies, and our infrastructure first. And so what Ro and I did, we did this last week when, you know, they were rattling the sabers because we saw this coming. We put forward this war powers resolution. I've teamed up with Ro Khanna before on this, to his credit. When Joe Biden was president, we tried to rein in the executive and reassert Congress's authority, sole authority, to declare war and to engage or authorize the engagement of acts of war.
Something we talked to other lawmakers about as well in the Senate. I know there's efforts to support you, but the Speaker of the House, who is from your own party, has really rejected this. He says the Article I power of Congress really allows for the president to do this. It was a limited, necessary, targeted strike, he says.
Well, he's probably referring to the War Powers Act of 1973, but that's been misinterpreted. There was no imminent threat to the United States, which was what would authorize that. And I think that's peculiar to hear that from the Speaker of the House. Look, Congress was on vacation last week when all this was happening.
You haven't been briefed on any of
We
these details.
haven't been briefed. They should have called us all back. And frankly, we should have debated this war powers resolution that Ro Khanna and I offered, instead of staying on vacation and doing fundraisers and saying, oh, well, the president's got this under control. We're going to cede our constitutional authority.
It's all correct. All correct on Thomas Massie's part.
Congressman Khanna, and we didn't hear from the secretary the explanation as to why now. We haven't heard that from anyone, other than a reference to the president had a roughly 60-day timeline on diplomatic talks. But we also know he had more talks scheduled when Israel launched this attack. So it's not exactly clear the emergency. You will be briefed along with other members of Congress Tuesday. What are the questions you have?
So they're not even being briefed tomorrow. It's Tuesday.
Well, first of all, the tragedy in this country is that we keep entering these overseas wars. We triumphantly declare the mission is accomplished the day after, and then we're left with Americans bearing the consequences for decades. Now, Thomas is absolutely right in showing courage. I mean, the headlines all across this country says the United States enters war with Iran. He is actually representing a lot of the people in the MAGA base, people like Steve Bannon, Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Theo Von, who has had them on, who's saying, we don't want this war. And I heard your interview with Secretary Rubio. He's saying, well, we want a peace deal. We want to make sure that Iran can enrich uranium through civil purposes. Well, we had that. We had that at the JCPOA, and there was not a single violation that the IAEA found during that time. So my question, I guess, is now you're going to force Iran to go covertly in developing this nuclear material. Now you've put American troops at risk. Now you're wasting billions of our dollars because we're sending more troops to the Middle East. What did you accomplish, and why are you oblivious to the American people who are sick of these wars?
Especially now, this was this morning, and now you have Trump posting regime change. You know, we're going more than I expected. You know, I thought we are gonna have the strikes. We expected that, but if Trump's saying regime change in Iran, that's gonna be more than just striking their uranium facilities.
But Congressman, are you open to the idea that there could be intelligence that is disclosed to you in this classified setting on Tuesday that could justify this, or is any military action, in your view, you know, war?
Well, I'm always open to new intelligence, but the procedure should have been that Congress was briefed before we decided to enter war and that we actually had a vote on it. You have Tulsi Gabbard, who just months ago, the director of intelligence, saying that was not the case. The reality is, and we should just speak openly, there are people who want regime change in Iran, and they are...
and Ro-Khan is correct. And Ro-Khan is correct. This was before this was this morning, before Trump posted all this. And then you got Lindsey Graham double downing and others. Yep, regime change. So Ro-Khan and Thomas Massie are on the correct side of this one. Go back to it.
President on to bomb. I hope cooler heads will prevail. We need to pass Thomas Massie and my war powers resolution to make it clear that we're not going to get further entrenched into the Middle East.
And Congressman Massie, it's interesting because you were talking about a part of the party you represent. The Secretary of State comes from a different part of that same party, as you know. And I did.
So how fractured is MAGA then? All right. How the heck fractured is it? Because you got Rhino, Rubio, and then Massie was MAGA until a couple hours ago. There's like a MAGA within MAGA. Amiga. La Miga.
Hone in on the question about intelligence and what it showed. He called it an ambition to weaponize. Weaponization ambition. That's different than they're making a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
But are you open to intelligence and persuasion here?
I'm open as well. But look, in the first Iraq war, the second Iraq war, and the war in Afghanistan, Congress first got the briefings. Congress met and debated. It should have been declarations of war, but at least they did an authorization of use of military force. We haven't had that. This has been turned upside down, this process.
Well, you heard from Mitch McConnell, the former Republican leader, the senator, say it was a bad week for the isolationists. He was talking about Tucker Carlson, and he was talking about Steve Bannon. Do you think that the president is making a choice here, or is he trying to have it both ways? Both saying, I'm going to please the hawks of the party by bombing, but then I'm going to say I want a peace deal and make the isolationists happy by saying, you know, I'm not committing to anything more than one and done.
Well, I'll concede this. It was a good week for the neocons in the military-industrial complex who want war all the time. I wouldn't call my side of the MAGA base isolationists. We are exhausted. We are tired from all of these wars, and we're non-interventionists. I mean, this was one of the promises. I mean, are you going to call President Trump?
The part that made them dumb and cringe was with Ukraine, because we're giving Ukraine old weapon systems, and our military is not involved at all. No U.S. troops, no Air Force, no Navy, nothing. Old shit. Recycled equipment that you taxpayers have already paid for, and it's doing nothing, and our military isn't using it because it's old. And we use new stuff-ish sometimes if you're in a high-speed unit. But all that aid to Ukraine and weapons to Ukraine were because they were already paid for, and they were sitting and collecting dust in the Middle East. And Ukraine was like, literally, Ukraine was like, we don't want your soldiers. We'll do it. Just give us help with weapons. We don't need your guy. We don't need Americans here. We don't. If you want to come volunteer and join the Foreign Legion back in 2022, you can do so at your own risk or peril. If you want to come serve Ukraine, but in terms of like the Department of Defense giving orders to soldiers, airmen, seamen, and the Navy, nobody, not a single person. And people like Thomas Massie and others, that's why I have a problem with Massie and MAGA and the far left too, because a lot of narratives about our support to Ukraine were so cooked, and it was so stupid because people were treating our aid to Ukraine as if like the same as this right now of U.S. airstrikes bombing Iran. No, we're no wars. It was so stupid, so dumb, especially when you actually know about the aid to Ukraine and how little it actually was. It was a lot, but it was a little at the same time.
Trump's campaign, an isolationist campaign, what he promised us was we would put America first. And I think there are still voices in this administration. You've still got J.D. Vance. You've still got Tulsi Gabbard. You still, RFK Jr., you still got calmer heads that could prevail.
They were not persuasive.
Like, you got Russia going. Putin literally just said this week, he's like, wherever the Russian soldier boots go, that's Russia now. The anti-imperial crowd, just, we sleep. Anti-imperialist people sleep. MAGA, like Massie, sleep on that. He's right on this, but wrong on Ukraine, as most of them are. A majority of them have been.
In this case, clearly.
Well, somebody was persuasive. AIPAC is very persuasive. For instance, the Israeli lobby in Congress. If you look at my colleagues' feeds now, they all look the same. They're all tweeting the same message that we've got to support Israel and we've got to do this. My question is, does 3 bombings and we're done with Iran's nuclear ambitions? Is that the 2 weeks to slow the spread of 2025? Is this, we were told 2 weeks to slow the spread then. Now we're told it's just going to take 3 bombings. But
nice. Yeah, people forget that was Trump's administration. 2 weeks to slow the spread, social distance, masks. That was Trump. That was all Trump. His administration. He coped and blamed Fauci. And found scientists to blame instead of him. Lockdown. So it was all Trump. People forget though. They blame Biden or say it was Obama. But interesting dig from Massie there. What is this? 2 weeks to slow the spread? 2 weeks to slow the spread of nukes? Slow the spread of Iranian nukes?
So what happens when Israel gets bombed again? Is Trump going to sit by and say, no, we're not going to further engage in this war?
I tried to get answers from the secretary on that question, but...
So Massie has it in him. He has it in him to have balls and to have a spine. It's seen here. You can clearly see it.
When you say the pro-Israel lobby, AIPAC, do you see a difference between Israel's interests and American interests?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, Iran, the reality is they don't have a missile that can reach the United States. They're not near to getting a missile that can reach the United States. I think this, what has happened, what has transpired this week has been planned for months. This administration and maybe even the administration prior to that said, you go in and soften them up, take out their air defense capabilities, and then we'll send in the big bombers.
That's what Israel just did. That's what Israel was doing last week and the week before.
Congressman Khanna, I know you have raised objections on this program in the past about Israel's operations in Gaza for how it has conducted that war against Hamas. That was a different context. But now you very well may be asked to provide more weapons.
It's kind of like all in the same, to be honest. It's like the same. It's just Israel expanding beyond like they have been.
To Israel to defend itself. Do you oppose that as well?
Well, first let me just say that it's a totally unfair smear to call people isolationists. The vast majority of Americans who don't want more war and want diplomacy. Diplomacy and engagement is not isolationism. But look, on Israel, I have supported aid and support.
No, the isolationists are the ones that are like against immigration completely, and the absolute white nationalist Nazis that we do have, and there's a fuckload of them. So don't poo-poo at that, Rokana. That's a very real issue, but I get what he's trying to do. Okay, so politically, tactically, politically, movement there about trying to say, oh, well, whatever. We know. We know what our country has.
Defensively,
we know what the isolationists are. Okay, yeah, some of them are just don't want to be a part of Middle Eastern wars. And okay, I guess I won't call you an isolationist then. But if you have like the same opinion about Ukraine and Russia invading European countries, and we're just sitting here when we have weapons to give and not soldiers and humans, because that's what Ukraine literally asked for example, that's just an example. Okay, that's the one that's why I supported Ukraine. That's why I support weapons to Ukraine. That's why I support Ukraine's fight against Russia, because the U.S. we're pretty hands off. We're a little too hands off, to be honest, in terms of like, good luck. We can GG's Ukraine, basically. Good luck. That's kind of how we've literally treated it the whole time. And it's only been propaganda against Ukraine that have said otherwise. Truly, actually.
The War Powers Resolution says that if Iran is striking Israel, we can provide.
Iran is isolationist. Yeah, we set them up that way.
Defense so that Israel isn't hit. What I opposed was giving Israel offensive weapons to go kill more people in Gaza. I think that war needs to end. But I think the bottom line, Margaret, is what have we achieved here? We're going to push Iran to now be like Pakistan or North Korea, go in and try to develop a nuclear bomb covertly. We have put more American troops at risk. We're going to spend more resources going and getting more entrenched in the Middle East. And we've created a generation of hate. It's like, can this country learn? Yeah. We keep voting for people for president who say we're not going to get into war, and then they keep getting pushed by the Washington Beltway to get us into this mess.
Congressman Khanna.
Okay, so that was Rokana and Massie. They have a bill together. Get their resolution on the floor. They're trying to. And then you got Donald Trump. Donald Trump called him out, and then Massie posted, "This is not America first, folks. Not America first to do Iranian regime change." Back in LA. So we also have anti-war protests taking place, guys. Let's go to LA really quick here. Live in LA from SoCal Shorts, anti-war protests have started across the country. So I'll give you guys the protest coverage, the latest updates for the war, any updates from these dumb skulls that are trying to drag us in again. No, that's the Marines still. So things are going to be overlapping. So the Marines are still in LA from the ICE protests. That's still being fought in the courts. But this is an anti-war protest for our strikes on Iran. But everything is, it's been a week. It's been like a week and a half. Nothing changes like that fast. So the Marines are still there. Court battle's still happening if they can stay or not. Right now it's on the side of Donald Trump, but Gavin Newsom is fighting against it. So we'll see. But as of now, as you guys can see, they're still there. National Guard they're in the federal building by the city hall. This is at the Los Angeles Passport Agency and the Veteran Affairs Department at the VA right here. So they're standing like right here in LA, which is in Westwood. So we're away from the city hall area and the other LA protests that we've seen, over the past couple weeks. Let's tune in here. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Thank you for becoming a member, Soul Stitch Solo. Thank you.
Crystal!
Thank you. Appreciate that.
The anti-war movement didn't start today. It's been a long struggle.
Isn't that where the guy got arrested by the Marines? Yep, it is. Yes, it is. Same spot.
Not to drag us just into one war, but into many wars. Their next goal.
Thank you, Crystal.
China. Their next goal are they think they can invade Russia. They think they can invade the biggest countries on the planet. But their their arrogance will be the end of this system.
He's invading Russia.
So we're going to stand together here. We're going to
Listen, I don't care. If you are like an anti-war tanky that supports Russia, I'm bullying you to your face too, because I'm going to be at the anti-war protests. And if you are like an anti-war person and you simp for Russia, I'm bullying you, just like I did MAGA. And you know I'm going to do it too, because I did it to MAGA. I will absolutely be in your shit, making fun of you.
We were in the streets of downtown Los Angeles yesterday. And the day before that,
Will I be covering the protests tonight? I'll try the best I can from home. I'm stuck at home still. My truck is broken. Okay, paycheck comes in tomorrow. I'll get it all taken care of finally. I've been riding the wave here from a month ago from work, which was just basically video games on my end. Just streamed gaming for like the month. Enough to pay the bills, but no, nothing much else here. But we'll be locked in starting next month. Don't worry.
if you talk to your neighbors, your friends, your co-workers, the people in your union, think about how massive this movement can be once again.
You don't trust Ro Khanna either? I understand that. Yeah, I don't know much about him yet. I haven't seen much from him. He's made some interesting statements on social media. We'll just put it that way.
So we want you to stay tuned. There'll be a lot of details, but please talk to an organizer.
Oh, I gotta get like a battery change. My truck is not. And I'm not spending $100 some on Ubers to get to Minneapolis.
Because stay with me.
I'm just not gonna do that.
United will never be defeated.
But, however, there is going to be a protest at 7 p.m. All right, 7 p.m. Can any politicians be trusted? Yeah, there's some. It's up to you to figure out if you trust them, honestly, though. I'm not going to tell you which politicians to trust. I mean, you're going to trust different politicians than I trust. Or the same, some. I go based off of words and actions, I guess. For me. Lisa, thank you for becoming a member. So that's, again, the guys, this is the Marines. They're still there.
Moving into arrest me? I told him, don't shoot me, I'm just eating Pringles. Don't shoot me, I'm just here. I'm just here to eat Pringles. These three here are moving on somebody. I don't know if they saw someone in the crowd.
I saw someone start walking.
They've identified. It doesn't look like they're looking for the whole crowd. It looks like they're looking for somebody in particular.
Because last time they had a block of people here.
Oh, you've been here? I've never been.
I went to the last one. Yeah, they had a block of them on the sidewalk.
Oh, really?
And I think like out in LA, people got in the front, and now they're like more in the line. And last
Trying to look for other anti-war protests. We got tons of other anti-war protests going to be popping up. We had one in New York City. This is live in Los Angeles. We are live in LA again. We're back. As you guys can still see, the Marines are there for when the federal government called them up against the ICE protest. Where are they protesting in Minnesota today? Loring Park. Thank you, Deborah, for the $10 in Minneapolis. What, is Russia going to get defeated again?
Yes, Westwood.
They were blowing pot smoke in their faces and had to step back. I don't think that's pot smoke. I think it's, well, unless they were.
Ray TV. Good to see you again.
It looked like it.
Right?
Oh my God, did you?
Okay, so they're just doing streamer talk.
Yes. I wanted to come. I should have come.
New York Times reports there's growing evidence that the Iranians, before the U.S. attacks, removed 400 kilograms. Will be a less than ideal situation. I mean, they said they were. I mean, we telegraphed the whole move. You guys, anybody, would you honestly be shocked if you find out that Iran moved their nuclear materials before we attacked? Would you honestly be? Would you be shocked? Okay, I would not be. It was so telegraphed. It was so telegraphed. You can go back last week and look at the title of my streams. Will the U.S. join? Will it? Are we going to join? Are we going to? We might. Oh, 2 weeks. I guess we're going to join in 2 weeks, maybe. Meanwhile, Iran was like moving everything during that. They had multiple days to do it. You saw reporting they had moved them? Yeah, I've seen various reporting. There's also evidence, according to Israeli officials with knowledge of the intelligence, that Iran had moved equipment and uranium from the site in recent days, and there was growing evidence that the Iranians, attuned to Mr. Trump's repeated threats to take military action and remove 400 kilograms, or roughly 880 pounds of uranium enriched to 60% purity. That is just below the 90% that is usually used in nuclear weapons. The day after President Trump declared that Iran's nuclear program had been completely and totally obliterated by American bunker-busting bombs and a barrage of missiles, the actual state of the program seemed far more murky, with senior officials conceding that they did not know the whereabouts of Iran's stockpile. Great. Good day, Merc, lurking and listening, but thank you, of course, Ozzy T. Appreciate your support. Preston Stewart goes, this would be a less than ideal situation. Okay, SoCal Shorts' stream is getting jacked up a little bit. You guys have any other protests that are taking place? Let me know. Let me know. You guys can see them pop up before me. Oh boy. Tammy Bruce on TV again, guys. Have you guys ever seen Tammy Bruce outside of the State Department press briefings?
The pride of being able to be here and do work that facilitates making things better for people, and in the greatest country on earth, next to Israel. It's an honor to be able to make a difference and to be able to speak in this regard with an administration that I love so much and that I feel genuinely represented by. It's a real honor.
Greatest country on earth next to Israel. Israel. Oh boy. Thank you, Mr. President, for restoring peace through strength. Wow, I'm so excited. This is the best. Wow, thank you. Oh my God, my wife will have sex with me tonight. Can you think of it? Man. Just days after being freed from ICE detention, Mahmoud Khalil helps lead chants at pro-Palestine march from Columbia University. So Mahmoud Khalil has been freed from ICE detention.
Palestine will live forever! Palestine will live forever! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free!
The green card holding activist was arrested in March, as I reported on it on Facebook and others, and released on bail after a federal judge ruled his detention was unconstitutional. There he is, leading the protest today. Thank you for all you do. I stand with Ukraine and all your independent work. May you be blessed with all the work that you do. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for the support. Same with Deborah. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, looks like we've got the stream back up in LA. SoCal Short. It's probably hot.
Oh,
okay. Streamer talk. That's my least favorite. Like, if I'm out there to stream something, I don't want to sit and talk with other streamers. I mean, like, people love doing that. Got Kyiv under a drone attack right now, it looks like. Could have some information on that. Iran threatened to unleash attacks by sleeper cells inside the U.S. if it was attacked. Iran said, it's a beautiful day in LA, is it? Iran sent a communique to Trump in the days before last night's strikes on its nuclear facilities, threatening to activate sleeper cell terror inside the United States if it were attacked, sources said. The message got to Trump through an intermediary at the Group of the Seven summit in Canada last week, which Trump left early June 16th to consider his options amid the conflict between Israel and Iran, according to sources who include 2 U.S. officials and a person with knowledge of the threat. That's great. Thanks, Trump. This was a clown. Sean Ryan also had a guest say that at least one man picked rocket launcher from Iran. This is a clown interview. Remember when we watched that on stream? Not everybody here watched it, but we watched it back in the day. It was a while ago. Name one thing Israel has ever done for America. Oh boy. Name one thing, guys. Chat, you do it. You try. You try. Let's play it. Let's play a game. More images from, I think this was New York City. Paid. Payments. DJ Dub D says, to me, the supercell statement sounds exactly like something the administration would make up to crack down on protesters and claim their... Yep. Definitely a potential there. Irish Gallo Glass goes, I can name one thing. They've contributed greatly to U.S. weapons and arms manufacturing for creating the demand. Yeah. I guess there's that, I guess, right? I guess that's it. I guess that's true. That was in New York City earlier today. Still got protests in LA showing the Marines. Are they still talking?
I don't know. Hello. Is
Oh,
she
look at the
doing
puppy.
all right? She needs some water? She got her some water. Oh.
Hi, my name's Andy. I've been covering the same things he has.
With David.
I'm Ruth. Nice to meet you. You've been in the press for a long time? I've been covering a lot of stuff. I actually spent 20 years on the Democratic State Senate Committee.
Kamala Harris is leaning towards entering the California gubernatorial race. Okay.
That sounds like something I would do.
Right.
I haven't voted the last few elections, so when people... I voted in one of my other jobs in 2020, and he actually passed away.
Trump posted the B2 a couple hours ago, but nothing new there. Can the UN do anything about this mess? If you're looking for the UN for anything, you're looking in the wrong place. I mean, in theory, but in practice, no. Absolutely not. The UN is like a social club, basically, to me. U.S. claims strikes in Iran nuclear sites caused severe damage, but full impact is unclear. The U.S. military struck 3 sites in Iran early Sunday, inserting itself into Israel's effort to destroy Iran's nuclear program in a risky gambit to weaken the longtime foe. The decision to directly involve the U.S. comes after more than a week of strikes by Israel and Iran that have moved to systematically eradicate the country's air defenses and offensive missile capabilities while damaging its nuclear enrichment facilities. Boy. Renewing talks with Iran. Iran's response, Iran's UN ambassador Hamid Saeed Iravani told emergency meeting of the UN Security Council that Iran had repeatedly warned the warmongering U.S. regime to refrain from stumbling into the quagmire. He said that Iran's foreign minister held talks this week with several European counterparts. The United States decided to destroy that diplomacy. Israel says the world must guarantee the threat of a nuclear Iran never returns. We didn't have... This is all just so stupid. And we don't even know if their nuclear enrichment facilities were actually destroyed. Iran likely moved it all before we struck, and we had these strikes, and now we're going to go to war with Iran. No weapons of mass destruction were destroyed, and Iran doesn't even have them. They have the concepts of them. France mobilizes planes to evacuate its citizens from Israel. You guys believe that they moved it all? We can do a poll. We should do a poll and see, and ask you guys if you believe they moved. They moved everything before we struck. Is SoCal Shorts on a team with this person?
An unprecedented attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran. Those sites include the facility at Isfahan and their underground facilities at Natanz and Fordow. Now, Fordow is dug deeply under a mountainside, and it's long been believed that America would need to use specialized bunker-busting bombs to destroy the facility. Now, Iran has acknowledged these attacks, but we don't yet know just how much damage has been done. President Donald Trump has addressed the nation from the White House. He warned Iran not to launch any attacks in response. However, we've heard from Iranian officials all the way up to Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei that any American attack in the region would draw an immediate Iranian response. So as of right now, we're waiting to see what the reaction is, how much damage has been done, and how the wider Middle East...
Iraq 2, MAGA Boogaloo. When your shit gets so stupid and you live in you live in 1984 world, all your lies are truths and all your truths are lies. This is what happens. If you feel hoodwinked by Donald Trump, that is a personal problem. I'm just being so serious at this point. You have chosen that reality because you've chosen a comfortable environment to receive current events instead of like challenging your brain and like going against what's comfortable. And because you've chose comfort, you've allowed Donald Trump to atrophy the critical thinking in your brain that would allow you to see this well in advance. It's I don't know, I don't get it.
Well, there's all right. I mean, just like one jury trial, like, you know, one person's jury trial. There's so much going on behind closed doors. Judges going to dinner with attorneys. You know, imagine.
Okay, is there another feed in LA? Another feed up that we can go to if you have one? What is Russia going to do? Continue struggling in Ukraine? They're gaining some ground, but I think I said this. I swear, you got to go back to a stream like a couple months ago. Those that watch me every day, you probably heard me say it. To where it'll be extra bad. It's already bad enough that the U.S. betrayed Ukraine and turned our back. But if you're literally holding on to hope still that we're going to help Ukraine, I specifically said if the U.S. starts another war, because we talked about it, it is over completely in terms of like aid to Ukraine. It's beyond done. And that will allow Russia to continue doing what they do. Well, hopefully Europe can step up. They're doing more coalition of the willing and whatnot. Russia's already trying to position themselves in this conflict, which will take even more attention away from what they're doing in Ukraine. This was all unfortunate that Trump, this is what he campaigned on though. This is all pre-warned. Have you seen $15 gas before? No, you're about to. Man, I'm gonna get my truck fixed and then still walk around everywhere. Get that fixed, get my truck fixed just to walk everywhere. I love the ones who claim Israel are helping Ukraine and somehow this helped them. I know, it's cooked. It's so cooked. It's copium. It's hopium and copium combined. Guys, this will help Ukraine because this will weaken. Iran is an ally of Russia, and this will help Ukraine. This does nothing for Ukraine and does nothing to hurt Russia. Both. This does nothing, it does nothing to help Ukraine. It does nothing to hurt Russia. Actually, if you're actually cheering, if you're one of those people that are cheering on these strikes because you support Ukraine and you want to see like a Russian ally get hit, which will actually not hurt Russia. Politics is cooked. People are so done. Trump wasted $314 million to make a few holes in a mountain. That's what it's looking like. Well, you got more and more press going out to this spot in LA. No, I don't believe what I want. I believe what's given to me. I don't just have, honestly, I don't just have, I used to have beliefs out of nowhere when I was younger. Now I get my beliefs from what I look at and watch in front of me. Or we watch streams of it, or I read, and I do reading.
The basis of the U.S. for many years. I mean, I've been out here since Vietnam, where we've protested Vietnam, Iraq, and we haven't learned anything all those years.
Good song. Iran has issued a threatening warning, vowing that if attacked, it will unleash a wave of new retaliation through sleeper cells. Okay, we read that article.
Not only to protest it and oppose it, but to call on other people.
Oh boy.
In the 3 generations that have come, we ultimately stopped the war in Vietnam. We stopped the war in Iraq.
Trump's message to the world: if you have nukes like North Korea, I'll trade love letters with you. If you don't, I'll just pull out of agreements you're keeping and bomb you during diplomacy.
Well, but this is a fickle man.
Ted Cruz, you guys created this mess.
If you appeal to his ego, he'll do anything. And he's unpredictable, and he prides himself on being unpredictable.
Take whatever the YouTube poll comes up with and -1. Okay. Yeah, that does happen sometimes. You fat-fingered the poll.
And so if you appeal to his ego, he'll do silly things, dangerous things. And he's, unfortunately, there's enough people in this country that thought,
Oh boy. So you're having MAGA Civil War stuff happen too. Hodge twins are anti-war. Cat Turd is pro-war. So you got the Hodge twins Cat Turd battle going right now, it looks like. I'm glad everybody's finally realizing that a bunch of these so-called influencers who pretend to be on our side are complete and utter frauds. Doomsday, red alert, end of the world scammers. Rich kids who never had a real job. Yeah. Experts on the... Yeah, listen to Cat Turd, guys. One of the biggest influencers in MAGA. Okay? You're looking at MAGA royalty here. Yeah, you better come correct when you read a Cat Turd tweet, all right? Experts on the military who never served in the military. I'm an Army vet. Clowns who can't even run their own accounts and have other people post them. You are not even yourself, sir. You are a cat turd as a piece of cat shit on the X here. What are you even saying? Now you know why I never go to any events except for mine, which is just because you're a loser. Being someone who actually lived in the real world and listen to this guy, dude.
You know, the Eagle.
Cat Turd's white knighting MAGA right now.
There's a few other songs, a lot of radio.
Or what's that? Is it white knighting or what is it where you're gatekeeping? Sorry. Terms. He's gatekeeping, which is cringe, right? When you have like a group and then somebody speaks out against the group and you go, "The group is the best. You can't say anything bad about our group. We are the coolest and best group. No group is better than ours." That's what Cat Turd's doing. We have a lot of people like that in MAGA. It's really cringe. It can't be fixed. It's terminal for some. Can't be helped.
Yeah.
The crowd is dwindling. We'll probably go back to LA.
Aren't you in LA?
Which is a bummer.
You're not considered Westwood LA? Yeah, looks like the protest at the federal building is dying down. It's been dying down a little bit though. Bro, get the hell out of here. Oh my god, bro. Jill Stein, guys. Holy. I've been seeing that lately too. Like while Trump is literally MAGA is full 1984 truth or lie. Lies or truth. We're in that completely. And they run the country, and they run the House, they run the Senate, they run the Supreme Court. And you literally have people taking time out of their day today or yesterday to say, guys, hey, Kamala would have bombed him too. I've been seeing it. And I'm like ready to just tap out of politics completely, dude. I'm just so done. People are so stupid. People are so dumb.
They were having a peaceful.
Hey, Kamala would have bombed Iran too. She would have done it too. Both sides. Sounds like they sound like MAGA sometimes. That's what I'm trying to get through. Like, critical thinking needs to happen. Kamala Harris would not have bombed Iran, bro. It's like, I don't know if it's like a combination of copium and then also the truth that the Democrats are weak, because that is also can be true. But it's like when the Powder Puff Girls were made and they add a whole bunch of shit to it. It's just like annoying as fuck, because it's like, why is the focus not on Donald Trump as the president that is clearly overstepping Congress, and he's going to be the one that's sending us into another prolonged war, just like Bush did. Doesn't take away from the fact Obama kept going and kept striking, and that doesn't take away from the fact that Biden also was striking the proxies in Iraq and Jordan. Did Biden and Obama start a new war? Do they take us into another Middle Eastern war, a fresh one? No. Should they have done more to get us out? Maybe, yes. But Biden did, and people shit on him for it, because he pulled us out of Afghanistan. And it wasn't clean, and it never was going to be either. That pull out of Afghanistan was always going to be bad. That's why we were there for 20 plus years with no plan to leave, because there was no good plan to leave. Just carried out Trump's plan that he negotiated with Al-Qaeda before he got out of office. But it's so cooked to even imagine that Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party would have launched another Middle Eastern war, another fucking prolonged war. And if you're saying that, go do laps. Go run 5 laps and come back. Thomas Massie's in the green on APAC. $230 million, bro. Jesus. Holy. But then somebody will take like a Democrat who got like 30,000 from APAC and like treat them the same as Donald Trump. That's why I just get mad. I get mad at it. No critical thinking. Is taking APAC money good? No. Are you being fair in the comparisons of like the Heritage Foundation and the Republican Party and their ties to Israel for everything, and they'll actually full send? Dude, what I'm seeing in the Democratic Party is it's slow, and it's too slow, but I'm seeing more progressives are getting in. It's too slow. I'll give you that. But there's actual like reform there, and at least a pathway for reform and change. On the right, it is full authoritarian fascism. And so I don't like, I just still struggle to understand the leftern horizon politics. It's hard. Right wing, you got to suck Trump, and that's it. It's easy to understand. suck Trump. Trump's the best. He's our dictator. And then on the left, it's like you got 18,000 different opinions on everything, and nobody agrees.
All that fun stuff.
I don't edit. I just go live. It's a lot easier that way. I do.
That's why I let people stay right wing.
Someday I gotta start editing.
Undefined, unburdened by what has been, right, Stan?
That's a great editing. It's real cheap, but doesn't really support our economy. But right, if you get what you pay for, I need to learn something.
YouTube, man.
But I'm David on YouTube. SoCal Shorts, SoCal Haunts.
Okay.
We do a lot of horror nights.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
then
thanks for coming
this
here.
is a real horror night.
This is the
So there's a real horror night.
Okay. So you still have the feed up in LA, you guys, outside the VA building. You got the Marines out there still from the ICE. When ICE came into LA, they're still called up. Looks like some of the riot Marines are leaving. Riot Marines, guys. I don't even know. I hope that's the term, I guess, now. Riot Marines.
Maybe they're gonna leave.
I don't know what they're doing.
I think so. You've been here too many times to know they're not gonna leave. Are you a veteran or no, just a concerned citizen? Me too. I haven't been out here much before, but I'll be back more. I'm David. Wayne. My pleasure. Nice to meet you.
This is live, you guys. Live in LA here. SoCal Shorts on YouTube. You got the Riot Marines. That's the Marine Corps. Also looks like some LAPD back there, too. Imagine being bro, it's a Sunday, and you gotta wear all that shit as a Marine.
I don't know when it's a curse word.
You're a Marine. You join the Marine Corps to go stand guard at the VA office in Westwood, in LA. I would be so mad. I would not re-enlist. Like, if honestly, I bet you majority of the Marines out there that are doing this shit will not re-enlist because this is the most bullshit thing ever. They're still, guys, remember, they're still out there from the federal orders, from the administration, to go quell the riots in LA and protests. That, like, this is the protest. There's like 50 people. They're still out there for this. And you're just at the VA office, bro, guarding the VA building. And then when you get out, the VA does nothing for you. These Marines are unironically doing more for the VA right now than they'll get when they get out. And they're not even doing that because this sucks to see the Marines like that, I guess. You got guards, VA office guards now. Marines. Known for their guarding of embassies, protecting U.S. embassies around the world. VA office guards. I don't want to see the Marines like that. It sucks. I served in the Army. Look at the fuck are they doing there, dude?
I'm in the chat now, by the way.
Out there getting paid dog shit because
of a tyrant than the mob.
unless they got extra money to go do this.
Somebody else a 10-minute.
I don't think so.
I'll start looking too if you have more.
Because when you get deployed, you get extra pay. You get all types of. You get extra pay for your. If it's a combat environment, you get extra pay. You get extra pay if you're actually getting shot at there too, so you get even more for that. If it's like a hazardous environment, but it's not a combat zone, you still get a little extra pay, but not as much as like full-blown combat zone. And then still less than people that are like actually getting into combat. Oh boy, look at him. He's hitting the top. They're bored. No per diem. Oh boy. No per diem for that. Oh man. So they're getting paid their normal salary to go stand in the sun in LA. I figured there wouldn't be anything extra. I mean, they're being sent to Los. They're not even being sent that far.
Do you care that it's unconstitutional? The strike on Iran is unconstitutional. So there's no rest of them, right?
Is that like a MAGA guy? There's like Trump supporters out there.
Right? So then why the American?
My outfit's a little.
Alerts going out in Tel Aviv. Are there?
It's like don't arrest.
Are you ahead of me?
When I stand with the protesters, but don't arrest me.
So but the country
I have it's up.
Okay. Well, I had stitches under here from Compton.
Compton, the Battle of Dale's Donuts.
Yeah, I've been out every day since.
Are you sure?
Since they first started protesting 17 days ago.
I got the Zophar Red app. There's nothing. I'm seeing nothing right now.
For like 2 years. But I used to do
Tel Aviv, we got the live feed up still. Tel Aviv is live.
I quit Disneyland because it was just too many rides on Pirates. I did Pirates about 1,000 times in 2 years.
So you would just stream that?
Yeah.
Get an audience going on that?
Yeah, Vegas and Disneyland is about the easiest way to get a live audience.
Yeah, big tourist areas, I bet. Dude, if I lived in those areas, boy, we'd just be out there just walking around sometimes. If I lived in those cities, it's just there's the content provides. You don't have to do shit, just walk around. So this is in Columbus Circle near Central Park. Stop the war on Iran. Agenda for you saying incomings. Okay. Pull this full screen then for now. The camera's moving. I guess we'll see here. I didn't get an alert. I literally have it up. I didn't even get an alert on my phone. Due to the detection of missile launches, alerts may be activated in the coming minutes. Oh. It's coming. So you got an attack on its way here right now. Let me get everything up. Post this here. So you're gonna have an attack here en route. I guys just see it. So they'll be delayed in a couple minutes. So we will hear the alarms. Should hear that momentarily, actually. We'll hear it on my Zophar Red Alert app first, and then we should hear it in the feed. The air raid alarms. We'll see what happens. So let's tune into Tel Aviv here. It's 3:06 a.m. as we're waiting for responses from Iran on what's going to happen. This could be their first response, or this could be a continued series of responses. Have I got a Haifa stream? Okay, hold on. No, could you link it into the, what do you, come on, AP, not right now. AP, your camera. AP, not right now. AP, you got a missile strike coming. Is there a better Haifa camera? Can you post it into the Israel war section? There we go, AP. The first alarm went off 2 minutes ago. Camera on the tripod fell back. AP pulling a Hegseth. They haven't heard any alarms. I have all the alarms up. We'll hear them. I have all the sources up for sounds and when the strike's coming. I didn't look at my phone though, but you're correct. I did get a notification that said notification from 5 minutes ago now that said strikes are coming. There will be a delay. So I guess we'll see here. They're not allowed to show the strikes according to the IDF. They have to pan away. They show them. They don't show them like hitting now anymore, but they show the skyline, and you'll see the Iron Dome system. Yeah, after many successful Iranian attacks, oftentimes the IDF will go into the media and say nothing was hit, everything is fine, and Reuters and AP, who are absolutely, like, of all the corporate press, those two sources are the most unbiased of them. Cope and Seethe, MAGA, but they are. Because they literally just do stuff like this. Both agencies will go live and just do a stream and not talk. So they've had their cameras pushed away by the IDF in the past week and a half. Reuters got right down into it and was showing one of the strikes that Iran had sent, and they had their camera covered. Watch that happen on the feed. Okay, so we'll see here. See if it pops up or what's going to pop up of it. If you guys could like the video, share the stream out. Apparently we got another round of rockets coming in to Tel Aviv in Israel. So we are standing by. Are you guys seeing the Haifa stream? Don't have that yet, do we? All right, here it comes. It's coming now. It's about to go off. Tel Aviv South in Jaffa, Tel Aviv East, Tel Aviv City Center. There it is.
Alarm. Holon. Mikveh Yisrael. Or Yehuda.
Okay, so here it comes. Should hear the air raid alarms go off now in the feed shortly. And then we'll see what the attack from Iran looks like here.
Tel Aviv, Yarkon Banks. Petach Tikva. Kfar Kasem. Ramat HaSharon.
There it comes. Yep. Haven't seen the Iron Dome go off yet. Still haven't seen the Iron Dome go off yet. That was the air raid alarm. It's live in Tel Aviv. I'm waiting for responses from Iran after U.S. struck 3 of their uranium sites in their nuclear development. This will be the second round of attacks since then, or responses, I should say. But it's been going back and forth between Iran and Israel for the past week. Nearly a week and a half now. Haven't seen any missiles or anything come in. I don't think they would run a drill at 3:15 in the morning on a Monday morning. But I'm not seeing anything coming in yet, neither can you guys. DD Cyprus, one click. Nope. That is Donbass Davusha. Bullshit. Do not use that. That's what DD stands for. Started as a Russian propagandist from she's from New Jersey. Okay. Missiles could have been intercepted too before they even got near Tel Aviv. Guys just tuning in, we had a air raid alarm go off for Tel Aviv. Reported another round of rockets coming in, but we're not seeing it, at least in the feed yet. Still nothing here. Let's see what the IDF posted. I don't want to miss it though. Let's go to the IDF really quick. See if they've posted. Siren sounding across all central Israel due to a missile launch. Okay, so could be still waiting for that to get there. Still looking at the sky right now. So we'll stay here. IDF posted 4 minutes ago. Guys just tuning in, we're tracking Israel-Iran war and the U.S. involvement now. Everything in between, anti-war protests, posts, takes. If you guys could hit the like button on the stream just to help get the news feed out there. Make sure you're following the page, following the YouTube channel, following the Twitch. Keep that. What the heck? you have a source on where the rocket was intercepted? So I got some posts that say something flashed over Modine, maybe an interception, Modine, Israel. One missile intercepted, it sounded like. Tel Aviv. Can't verify if that was part of the attack, so I'm not going to show it yet. There's posts from June 20th looking at Modine. Oh, Modi'in. Modi'in. Is it Modi'in or Modi'in? It's 3 syllables, right? Hello, hello, everybody. Is it Modi'in? If there's actually media blackout, are those cams actually live? Yes. This cam is live. AP is the only one. Reuters does sometimes. Okay, so it's being... okay. Finally found some trusted sources. One ballistic missile was launched from Iran in the latest attack, according to preliminary IDF assessments. The missile, which triggered sirens in Tel Aviv and the surrounding area in central Israel, was intercepted. There are no immediate reports of injuries. And then... Iran only managed to fire a single ballistic missile at Israel during its attack tonight. And then this is reportedly the intercept. 1 today. That was that. Reportedly. Hopefully we see some more. Hopefully we can see some more there. We'll stay with the Tel Aviv skyline for now. About our no kings. Okay. Only looking for live feeds right now, though. Appreciate that. Oh, that was... Oh, I'm in a different channel. I'm sorry. I'm not even looking at the correct channel here. Join the Discord server if you guys haven't. I have an Israel War Discord channel. Share information into. As we just had what is reported 1 ballistic missile attack on Tel Aviv, which was intercepted, allegedly. Let's see if the IDF is posted. Nah, nothing since they said the sirens were sounding. Nothing further. Thank you, Aussie T. You got what did you say? You got JD Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, and RFK Jr.
What?
Okay, so still cooked. Still cooked a little bit. Well, a lot of it, actually, more than that. Oh, Fox News is spinning it.
Alliance between our two countries. Let me tell you a little story quickly. Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu are friends. They have many of the same friends and enemies. Look, in our country, our government tried to take out Donald Trump. The establishment tried to take him out. They used phony crime.
Oh my God, bro.
They used phony civil statutes. They brought him in Democrat districts. They had judges. I would say
that's why it bothers me when people on the left say that Kamala Harris would have been the same, because you have networks like this that are there's nothing like this on the left. Actually, there's nothing like this at all. That literally will lie on a major news network to millions of people every day. There's people that are on the left that do that, like you got the Gray Zone, and you got other people that do that, Young Turks recently, but they have like a niche audience, I guess, right? They're not like a mainstream anymore, for sure. You don't have any corporate media on the left that just like platform absolute lies like this. Just doesn't happen. And then talk about how Trump is like best friends with Netanyahu, so therefore we have to support Israel. That just does not exist on the left, in the terms of like the Democratic Party. Sure, Chuck Schumer and other old ass Democrats that most people don't like anyways. The people that are driving the party are not doing photos with Netanyahu saying we're best friends, guys.
friends. They have many of the same friends and enemies. Look, in our country, our government tried to take out Donald Trump. The establishment tried to take him out. They used phony crimes. They used phony civil statutes. They brought him in Democrat districts. They had judges, I would say in their back pocket ideologically, yes. And yet he muscled through and he defeated them. And you defeated them too with your vote this election. Benjamin Netanyahu has something similar going on. He's been in a criminal trial over the most inane allegations one can ever imagine. And it goes on and on and on with a hard left attorney general, a hard left prosecutorial system, and radical leftist judges, including on their Supreme Court. They have basically what is a judicial tyranny at the highest level. We have a judicial tyranny at the lowest level, but sort of leaching into the highest level. So they share the same, in many respects, enemies, obstacles, and friends. And so they're very close, despite...
So Israel's problems are our problems, guys, because Donald Trump and Netanyahu are friends. Wow. If you thought about that angle, hey, you didn't think of that angle, did you? Personal friendship with Netanyahu, so that should drive the foreign policy for sure.
Like all the leaks that you read in Axios and Politico that were pushed out there, a gap between Netanyahu and Trump, a gap between the Americans and the Israel. Oh.
Wow. Guys, you think that Donald Trump is friends with Netanyahu, so that's why we should help? You think of that one? Well, that's why, not help. We take action directly for Israel. It's more than just helping. It's like doing their work for them. Left before Trump's Make Iran Great Again post for calling for regime change, and right after Trump's Make Iran Great Again post calling for regime change. This is insane. Regime change will result in a bloody civil war, killing hundreds of thousands, of creating another massive Muslim refugee crisis. Toppling a leader is never as easy as you think. It almost always results in further involvement, a civil war, and chaos. Resist this. I have like MAGA that follow me that tell me to watch Charlie Kirk, unironically. I'm like, I'm not an incel. A bottom-up revolution rises from the will of the people. A top-down regime change is engineered by elites in the intel community. One is organic, the other is orchestrated and forced. The line is very thin and must be must proceed extremely carefully. Before you know it, we could be in a situation like Libya. President Trump is talking about an organic uprising. America cannot get involved in a forceful decapitation effort in Persia. An organic uprising, a color revolution. Oh, the thing that MAGA and the right said they hated, or pretended they hated, I guess, or claimed. Guys, we gotta do a color revolution, but not one that will result in progressive government. It will be a color revolution for fascists, because it'll be a far right government in Iran again, a harder far right government. It's like we install far-right governments, and then in theory that will work with them easier because they'll be able to crush their citizens and not have any problems with working with the U.S. So that's why we install far-right authoritarian dictatorships in the Middle East. But then guess what? Israel's like, wouldn't it be good if we expanded? And then these far-right authoritarian dictatorships do far-right authoritarian dictatorships, mafia shit. It's not good. None of this is going to be good. Oh, I can't believe the far-right dictatorship we installed is attacking Israel after they were attacked. Can't believe it. How did this happen? We don't need to keep listening to more Mark Levin. That was plenty of Mark Levin for today. That was actually too much Mark Levin. Oh boy. Okay, you got it though. They're good friends, so that's why we need to go to war. They're good friends. They're buddies. They're boys. Safety and security update from Metro Transit Police Department. Statement from Metro Transit Police Department. The Metro Transit Police Department is closely monitoring the events in Iran. At this time, there are no known threats to the Metro. However, the MTPD will have an enhanced presence throughout the system. We continue to work closely with our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners to ensure the safety of America's metro system. Customers are encouraged to call that phone number if they see suspicious activity. LA County Sheriff Office sends condolences to Iran. LA County Sheriffs, our hearts go out to the victims and families impacted by the recent bombings in Iran. While this tragic event occurred overseas, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is closely monitoring the situation. What? Don't you have enough of your protesters? Don't you have enough protesters to gas and flashbang? What the hell are you monitoring the situation for? At the moment, there are no known threats to LA County. However, out of an abundance of caution, we are increasing patrol checks at places of worship and other sensitive locations throughout the county. The safety and security of our communities remain at the top priority, right? So, LA County sheriffs are ready for the situation too, guys. They're ready. Maybe that's what they were doing. That's why they're training LA County Sheriff Unit out there in Iran. Storming the beach. They have practice. They're out there acting like a military. Let's see how it goes, I guess. So the cops don't act like they're serving in the military. Go ahead. Go have at it. Go ahead. You can fight other people. You can watch the NBA finals on AP. What the heck? The protest is done right now. Protest in LA is done. I was trying to find another one, but that one is done for now. He's walking away. He was going back into town, but at the federal building, at the VA federal building where the Marines are, the SoCal Shorts was getting out of there. He's going to a different spot. The mayor was on your Twitter too. Great. Also, guys, really quick, I guess I should tell you, apparently I'm a Russian agent. Do you guys ever think about that? Just came out like 5 hours ago. 5 hours-ish or so ago. I was sleeping. I'm a Russian agent now, guys. I'm not kidding, though. So, really quick, while we're waiting for more information, you guys remember when I exposed the Georgian Legion? You guys remember when I did a video on it and explained how they're a fraud and it's a scam? And if you haven't seen it, you click video and then you go watch it and it's right there. It was 8 months ago. It was a while ago. Agent Murkinov. So, I did an expose on the Georgian Legion. Complete scam. Do not support that at all. Do not send money to the Georgian Legion. Their so-called leader, who's a giant vagina, Mamuka, this clown, okay, went on, there I am, went on Ukrainian news, or this, apparently it's like oligarch news in Ukraine, and went and said that I'm a part of a Russian, I don't even know what it is. The Russians have long waged a powerful disinformation campaign against the unit, Georgian National. I forgot about the Georgian Legion until, like, someone, I think I saw a post like a week ago, and someone, like, reposted about them. But apparently I'm a part of a Russian disinformation campaign operation. I mean, I don't... they produced contract propaganda films, tried to discredit the unit in Georgia so Georgians wouldn't come here to fight for Ukraine, invented numerous fakes. One of the latest was voiced by pro-Russian Prime Minister Fico, claiming Mamuka was preparing a state coup in Slovakia. He then showed me a list of pseudo-journalists and volunteers convinced are working for the Kremlin. There I am. Right above Seth Greenspan, and you got Trinzu 2 below me. I tried reading like what the words say. That's pretty blurry, but they got like a little profile for everybody. You knew it? Damn it! I want to see the list too. I want the link. Now we could go through the whole thing. Yeah, they actually picked a good photo. Like, if they were going to pick a photo, that's the one to use, I guess.
Вони з ФСБ.
Okay, so it was at 11:09 in the video quick.
Особисто знімали замовні пропагандистські фільми, намагалися
How they got my middle name too. Not the full name. Photos from my Instagram, so
дискредитувати підрозділу Грузії, аби грузи.
I'm a Russian agent, guys, because I called out the Georgian Legion for scamming. It is what it is. You know, it's like, it really sucks that really good people have lost their lives in Ukraine in fighting. And then people like this piece of shit are still rocking and rolling, unfortunately. POV, you're about to steal thousands of dollars from supporters of Ukraine and then go cry about it on Ukrainian media. Support the Georgian Legion. You can tell where all that money's going, where you look sitting in that chair. You get cool Russian 007 gadgets too. No, they don't have, I mean, obviously it would be Temu gadgets if they're from Russia, actually. They would break on contact. So that's also happening on the side. Apparently I'm a Russian agent now. According to the commander of the Georgian Legion. It did hurt his bottom line. We absolutely destroyed his shit. In terms of the when the information was coming out about the Georgian Legion and Reshet. You go watch the video. It's an hour and 20 minutes long for a reason, because that's how much information is there about it. Hey man, you looking for any mods? I ended up getting a position as a social media streaming director in Brainerd Lakes area. Oh, we're okay for now, Chris, but just stick around, you know, maybe if I need it in the future. Pretty solid right now. I have a solid mod team. No unit named Georgian Legion in our agency. Ukraine's military intelligence. Yeah, that's all in the video. You can go back and watch it if you would like to. Reports coming in that Iran has hacked Truth Social. Have they? It seems like it's hacked every day. You tried getting on this thing, but it looks like it's still up for now. The website's still up. Still going. Can you play the video of Thomas Massie talking with Tucker Carlson about AIPAC? I think we did a few days ago. I'm all Thomas it's like, yeah, I agree with Thomas Massie on this one, but I'm not looking to him for anything else, especially Tucker Carlson. You know what I mean? Like, wow, it sounds crazy agreeing with Tucker Carlson and people like Thomas Massie, but I'm not going to allow that to drive or direct me, if that makes sense. Like, wow, Tucker Carlson can do an interview, I guess, and challenge Ted Cruz, but he's still a Russian agent to me. Or Thomas Massie, still, like, he's going against the grain right now, and I'll give him props for that, for sure. I'll give credit where credit's due and not be a cultist and go against the grain. But at the end of the day, he's still the opposite of everything I envision for America. But at least I'm glad we can agree with some that a forever war in the Middle East is not a part of that. So it's something. It's something there. You were halfway through the video when I went live. Oh, the Tucker and Massie. Oh, they must have just posted it today. Yeah, we call him Mango Mussolini. Mango Mussolini. But I have resilience. You had 75 million that voted against him, and then you got a lot that didn't vote or voted third party. So Democrats actually put someone that people can rally around, and populist, progressive, and it'll actually be a decisive election and not like this last one, which he barely won, but it was a decisive victory. That 2 million votes or whatever got him everything. What do you guys think of everything, though? You can digest here. We don't really have a whole lot coming in right now. We had an air raid alarm and one ballistic missile come into Tel Aviv maybe 20 minutes ago now. With all due respect, America, you always seem behind the news or in denial. behind. I mean, America is the news. I mean, I don't know. I've noticed that. There will be things that'll happen in other countries, and something in America that is like a dog stuck in the tree, and that makes the news. You think AOC could win? I mean, the way of the political climate right now, yeah. Especially if we're going into another war. I mean, yeah, a lot's going to change here. The playing field will change significantly if we're entering another Middle Eastern war. Well, we are, but we'll see if like the scale and scope of it all. Iran responded today, and that was they had one rocket, so I'm obviously against the strikes and at least trying to drag us into another prolonged war for Israel. However, if Iran cannot do anything back, and just by that fact alone, and that the reports came in this morning, their air defense didn't have it, and one rocket back at Tel Aviv today doesn't signal that, at least right now, it doesn't signal that Iran has the ability to respond. At least we're not seeing that right now. So that alone could deter a prolonged war. Maybe, though. That's hopium. That's hopium on my end. But the lack of air defense, and then also that was one rocket back at Tel Aviv. They shot it down. Just the natural. I don't know yet, though. Tomorrow's a new day. The next day's a new day. Maybe Iran's waiting to calculate strikes at U.S. bases as a potential. With their proxy terror groups, they could strike at U.S. bases. That's actually what is expected. How is America always behind? I don't know. I disagreed with that comment. Like what news would there be without the United States? You got people from all around the world with expert opinions about the United States that have never been here. Never even spent 2 minutes in the United States. They know all about it, though. You said Israel's been struck multiple times today, bud. In Tel Aviv? The last red alert I had before 36 minutes ago was last night at 11:36 p.m. Was it in like the northeastern part of Israel? Near the border? Not in Tel Aviv, though. Greetings from Trinidad and Tobago. I have a question. Will your president be impeached? Not right now. Not with the Republican control of the Congress and the Senate. Zero chance. Democrats take back the House, which is likely. He will likely get impeached, but convicted, no, because the Republicans will still have control of the Senate. I don't think they'll lose that regardless. It'll be the House. If anything that does flip, it'll be the House. They have control of the House, Senate, Supreme Court, presidency. Full MAGA control. Midterms are pretty important. Coming up. Not going to happen. You don't think that these decisions will cause, like, you think that these decisions and striking Iran and going in against everything he campaigned on won't have a ripple effect in the U.S.? Trying to get one bill through and you can't do it? Biden passed multiple rounds of legislation like right away. Should have done more, but I mean that's just is what it is. Like when you have at least a pathway of something happening, you want more and more and more and more because at least the door is open, or at least you can access the door. With MAGA, there is no door unless you want to suck Trump. Does Mercado support Iran or the USA? I support no wars in the Middle East. for Israel. And the idea that you're painting it as if now you have to choose between Iran and the USA over this is your choice. I served the country for 10 years. Shout out to all of my vets in the chat. Any vets we got? A lot of people that do news have never served. Yeah, newscasters that have never served or anything, so. When you say, do I support the U.S. or Iran, I've probably unironically... Never mind. Mr. Mercado, know how to answer a question without sounding like a politician. I mean, I could call you a fucking loser. I could say that. But that might turn some people away that want to hear a nice newscast. So I've been trying to stay away from that. You choose. One or the other. USA or Iran, you have to choose. If you don't support Trump strikes, you're an Iranian communist, and we're sending you to El Salvador. We'll find you with the Palantir. That's what you voted for, huh? You had one ballistic missile coming, but it was intercepted. It was intercepted. Waiting for further. We're monitoring the situation.
As you see that we were able to bring you those moments right here on Live Now from Fox, the president, as you see that we were able to bring you those.
That's Trump's meme guy. Stephen Chung. That's his basement dwelling incel meme guy. What the hell? That's Stephen Chung. Stephen Chungus. No, don't tell him to go there, because then Israel just keep expanding the West Bank and don't tell him to go there. And then Israel, oh, perfect. We have a house for you. It's in a new place called the Gaza Heights. Come live here. Heard about the church shooter in Michigan today, but I just now heard about the suicide bomber in the church in Syria. Wow. Steven Seagal got himself a new last name, did he? Did he now? You don't have the following to debate Merc fairly without all of you. Whoa. You can go on Discord. You're pretty bold being racist in chat. You want to do it on Discord? I have it open now. Steven or Mike T. You don't need a following. Sounds like some here are happy with a neighbor who shows you a different weapon each day and he tells you we'll kill you tomorrow. That doesn't... No, we're not Israel. The United States is not Israel. That doesn't happen. That's Israel's problem. Guys, Israel's problems are our problems too, because the Bible and Israel was promised it 4,000 years ago, guys. By God, okay? And you can't override that because God said it. Have you thought about that? Oh yeah? Well, God.
There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Falls over. That's how I saw it when they walked up to the podium when the announcement came in. Oh boy, got some Bernie tonight, it looks like. That's good. Yeah, stop listening to Hassan. Stop it. This is bro, that's how I know the people that I'm debating with are getting their takes from this guy. Stop it.
Saying as Ali's
Do you think of course. Yes, of course. Kamala Harris would do the same thing.
What happened if Trump wasn't elected? Not that it matters because Donald Trump is currently the president, but yes, I do think it would have happened if Trump wasn't elected as well.
Yeah, you're a clown. Clown boy. Same guy that'll go to the protests in his own city and do selfies and meetups instead of like showing what's happening to his audience that he has for politics and current events. And he had a chance to be like, do some actual on the ground stuff during the protests against ICE, and he did not. He's a clown. And he's got so many people on the left that like literally just regurgitate what he says. Kamala would do the same thing. Kamala the same. Kamala would bomb Iran, just like Trump. I already spent enough time on that today, though. I already did posts and everything, calling him out. Edits. What is the edited post? Our heart go out to the victims and families impacted. Is that why I read two different statements? So they wrote a statement with why would you be with the people of Iran? Like we didn't. This way you just don't talk, LA County Sheriff. Especially after what happened in LA last week. Yeah, it was 5 months. Is Bernie's tour starting again? Oh, he just finished in... Oh, he's going on tour again. So he just got done in Fort Worth, Texas. Where is he at next? He just finished. Well, it might be it then. We need a new party. Yeah, we don't have time. Be real. You do. We do. We need 5. We need 5 parties, but we don't have time. The American people, you cannot, unless it gets just so bad here, and like, but I don't see an appetite for complete revolution and change like that. So be real. It'll likely, if you want actual change, you got to keep lobbying the Democrats and keep putting progressives in there. Until then, maybe eventually when you have enough progressives and people that aren't establishment Democrats, and then maybe they'll be down for more parties. But only through the Democratic Party, if you're going to be smart about it. But a lot of people are not. One party is closed off, and you have to be a Donald Trump supporter. The other one, you have opportunities to get others in there still. And primary. And still try to get other politicians in that go against the Democratic Party establishment. And people are winning elections for that too. Not all of them. Not all of them. But it's happening. I know, I think this was just earlier today. Should we just watch what he says? I think it's over. It just finished. Let's go to what Bernie had to say.
Let me, a lot of people here tonight. Let me thank the MSB Choir, Old 97s for their music. Davida Hutarfi, the AFL-CIO First Vice President, Ernie Moran, Pauline Mims, Brian Bryant, an old friend of mine and yours, Jim Hightower, Kendall Scudder, Beto O'Rourke, and the great leader of the Progressive Caucus in Congress, Greg Kazar. And let me start off by making a very simple statement, which is factually correct. The future of American politics rests in Texas.
Big Texas.
As goes Texas, so goes America. And you can do it.
If you say the Democrats are extreme, your opinion is just not even revoked. You are on the far right, and so anything other than far right to you is extreme left. That is to call the Democratic Party extreme is laughable. It's super laughable.
As Greg and Beto have indicated for too many years, the Democratic Party has turned its back nationally and in Texas on the needs of working people. Let's go out. Let's change that. Now, this event is part of our Fighting Oligarchy tour. And tonight, I surely am going to talk about oligarchy, but given the events of yesterday, I would be remiss if I didn't, in a few minutes, say a few words about Trump's illegal, unconstitutional attack on Iran. But before I get there, let me say something about where I see our nation today. And what I'm going to tell you is not something you're going to see in the corporate media, and it's certainly not something that you're going to hear talked about very much on the floors of Congress. And the good there is both bad news and good news. And the bad news is that, in my view, our country today faces more serious crises than we have ever faced in the modern history of our country. I wish I could tell you, especially for the young people, to tell you that that is not the case, but it is. And what's even making it worse is that we have a president who almost every single day goes out of his way to undermine our values and the needs of working families. But here is the good news. The American people are standing up and they are fighting back. Our Fighting Oligarchy tour has now done 23 events in 15 states.
Who's been to a Bernie rally? A lot of you guys probably have been in this year, at least this year or before.
And we have brought out well over 270,000 Americans, Democrats, Republicans, Independents. And just last Saturday, as all of you will recall, there were no Kings rallies in every state in this country. And millions and millions and millions of people stood up and said loudly and clearly, we will not accept oligarchy. We will not accept authoritarianism. We will not accept kleptocracy. And we will not accept legislation which gives massive tax breaks to billionaires and cuts programs that working people desperately need. Let me cut right to the chase, and that is that right now, in America, we are living in an oligarchic form of society, and our democracy is being undermined.
You can't be in a crowded area? Well, that's why you watch streams. All good.
Never before in the history of our country have so few people had so much wealth and so much power, economic power and political power, and together we're going to change that reality.
So Bernie went to red counties in Wisconsin. Yeah, that's a theme. He likes doing it. Did it in Minnesota too. He has.
Today we have more income and wealth inequality than we have ever had, if you can believe it. One man, Mr. Musk, owns more wealth than the bottom 52% of American households. The top 1% owns more wealth than the bottom 93%. CEOs of large corporations now make 350 times what their workers make. Brothers and sisters, that is not what America is supposed to be about. But it's not just income and wealth inequality. Today, we have more concentration of ownership in the economy, sector after sector: agriculture, transportation, financial services, media. You got a handful of large corporations owning that sector, charging us the prices when we go to a grocery store that they want. We got to start breaking up those huge corporations.
Thomas Massie just put this out really quick as we're watching Bernie. He had a rally today. Real Donald Trump declared so much war on me today that it should require an act of Congress. Stop making me like you, Thomas Massie. Let them fight. Let them fight. Just fight. Yes. Sassy with Massie. Jesus.
Bottom line is that today the people on top have never, ever had it so good, but it's not.
I support Trump 100%, but I hear you. Oof. Treachery. You're a disgrace to the Republican Party. We will not forget when your term comes up. We have lists going. Not a whole lot of patience Damn. Act of Congress. LA County sheriffs are getting cooked. Iran stands alone against Trump and Israel, stripped of allies. Bloomberg.
Not just economic power. It is something that we absolutely do not talk about enough. Greg touched on it, Beto touched on it, and that is what political power, what kind of political power the billionaire class has. Look, democracy ain't complicated. It's a very simple form of government. You get a vote, I get a vote. Majority wins the damn election. And what elections are supposed to be about is if you want to run for office, and I hope that many of you will. But if you want to...
Why? For what? Yeah, America First by writing in Persian. We're so cooked.
Run for office, you should not have to go begging to some bloody billionaire for campaign funding so that you can win an election.
Oh my goodness.
Today, tragically, the billionaire class, the oligarchs, have enormous political influence over both political parties. And Donald Trump has been very clear about that. He doesn't hide it. Do you remember, some of you may remember Trump's inauguration. I was I don't know how it happened, kind of pushed to the front row, kind of where these guys are. I'm standing a few feet away from Trump. If you will recall, right behind him, in plain vision for the world to see, were the three wealthiest people in our country. Remember that?
Elon, Zuckerberg, Bezos.
Mr. Bezos. He'll be offended. He's doing a $20 million wedding in Venice today. And he got there in his $500 million yacht. Oh, my goodness. And Mr. Zuckerberg was there, too.
All the tech bros behind Trump.
All. Behind those three guys were 13 other billionaires who Trump had nominated to run major federal agencies. Now, one should remember what you learned
billionaires
in
for billionaires.
6th grade. All right, think back. 6th grade civics, American history. You remember Abraham Lincoln at Gettysburg. Remember that? So Lincoln goes to Gettysburg a few days after this horrible battle where thousands and thousands of soldiers died to end the abomination of slavery. Okay? So Lincoln goes there and he's on the battlefield. And he looks around him and he says in so many words, "Those brave men did not die in vain. They died so that we can establish in our country a government of the people." That is what we believe in, and we're not going to let Trump take that away from us.
Okay, so that's an excerpt. We don't need to watch like the entire rally. You can watch it on Bernie's. Bernie uploaded the video. No matter what you think of the Iran conflict, the Trump-Massie fight should surprise no one. Massie was anti-Trump in 6. So was J.D. Vance, you clown. So was the majority of these two-faced losers that were against him, and then now they learned how to bend the knee. I supported him right away. I'm different. I did not support him. I learned how bad he was through his own presidency, his own actions. But a lot of these losers, like, were against him, and then learned, I got to support him to be in power still. I have to bend the knee in order to remain relevant in the Republican Party. So you're getting purity tested in the right wing now. If you support all of Trump, you can't go against Trump at all. That's a fake image. It would be nice if some elected Democrats could show unity and stand with President Trump tonight, guys.
Fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
Guys, it'd be nice. Come on, stand with Trump.
In the face of those who believe, both left and right, that American involvement in the world is somehow the prime evil, the great driver of world suffering, that the world is somehow better off in the hands of the Chinese and the Russians and Iran going nuclear, he stood up. He stood up to the morons like AOC on the left who proclaim that Trump himself is a Hitlerian threat to the world by standing up to a true Hitlerian threat to the world. And he stood up to the dolts on the right who thought that they could somehow claim the movement Donald Trump built, the Make America Great Again movement, for themselves, painting Howard Zinn America-hating turd with a coating of MAGA language and then trying to pass it off as filet mignon. He stood up to all of them, and he proved that America is great again.
I guess so. MAGA Republicans, if Israel is happy, then America's good. If Israel is satisfied, then America's great. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting here. Holy. Wild, yo. Most of the Republican MAGA are turning on Ben Shapiro right now to Zion. I mean, they have been. You had an uncomfortable amount of people that voted for Trump thinking he was going to be a peacemaker for Gaza. And that is so, and the same amount of people, then the same people that thought he was going to help Ukraine too. You had to have lied to yourself. You had to have made the conscious decision to say, I'm going to go against what is right in front of me in terms of his lack of plans, but his propaganda and narratives about each conflict have been open and public all through the Biden presidency. It just throws me. It throws me. It blows me away. And you see it. You see it on social media. You see so many people say, "Wow, I voted for him. I thought he was gonna." There you go. Well, I was wrong. I trusted Trump to put America first and avoid the one effing thing that could derail MAGA. Based on his track record, his promises during the campaign, and the abject stupidity of another Mideast war, I thought he knew better. We have been betrayed. Been betrayed, chat. I'm not naive. I knew Trump was way too favorable to Israel, but I didn't care as long as he kept us out of direct war with Iran. What a moron. The brain just does not work. Why else would we be so close in relationship with Israel if not for fighting Iran's proxies? But Trump is like, nope, we're going to fight Iran itself now. We're going to just strike them. There's some images of Tel Aviv from last night. Any gaming tonight? Yep. We're probably going to call her here soon. I want to make sure I'm well rested and whatnot for the week. A lot going on. Oh, here you go.
Thing I would say over the next 2 or 3 weeks that will be phenomenal in terms of tax.
Wiretap covers a lot of different things. I think you're going to find some very interesting items coming to the forefront over the next 2 weeks.
We'll be reporting.
What game should we play tonight?
back.
I want to play Death Stranding. We got to play that for sure, at least the rest of the week, because Death Stranding 2 comes out, but kind of want to do something
Sometime over the next 2 weeks as to NAFTA. I'll be making a big decision on the Paris Accord over the next 2 weeks.
What about infrastructure? When is that going to happen?
We're going to do infrastructure very quickly. We've got the plan largely completed, and we'll be filing it over the next 2 or 3 weeks.
When will you make that decision?
Over the next couple of weeks. We're doing very well in the fight against ISIS, as General Mattis has just explained, and we're going to be having a news conference in about 2 weeks to let everybody know how well we're doing. And
2 weeks. Big talk from Bernie against the rich. How many homes does he own? Okay, what kind of... You have to be poor to advocate for the poor. What a dumb fucking take. That has always been the worst take. Honestly, that's one of the takes that push me away from the right wing. Because it's like, that makes no goddamn sense. Bernie spends his time advocating for the working class at all times. If Bernie was like a Hassan, if Bernie was like Hassan, I wouldn't respect him. Where Hassan is clearly grifting that and is clearly playing on it and isn't actually believing it after what I saw. Bernie is not like that. Hey, you gotta actually live in poverty and be in poverty and not actually be able to do the things that you fight for as a politician. What is that?
Minds are starting to open up. We're having a big opening in 2 weeks. We've had tremendous success against ISIS in our fight in the Middle East. We're doing very, very well. We're going to be having a news conference in 2 weeks on that fight. Our Secretary of Labor is coming out with a plan in 2 weeks. You're going to have some big news. I think we're going to have some of the big drug companies in 2 weeks. We are coming out with that plan in 2 weeks. We are coming out with so many health care plans. And women, unemployment recently reached the 65-year low. We think that's probably the lowest ever. But as I've been saying, in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it will be. Within 2 weeks, I think you'll be historic numbers. We're signing that deal in 2 weeks. We have the dumbest immigration laws in the whole world. Watch what happens over the next couple of weeks, folks. Wait till you see what happens over the next couple of weeks. You're going to see a very secure border. We'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be seeing a lot over the next couple of weeks. I like her very much. In fact, I'll be seeing her in 2 weeks. And we're going to have another big announcement in 2 weeks that'll take place over the next 2 weeks. And we're doing one other thing that, believe it or not, is even bigger, but you'll be seeing that over the next 2 weeks. It doesn't have to be today. It can be tomorrow. And it can be in 2 weeks from now. You understand? I said, do me a favor. Tell the Prime Minister that I'll call him back in 2 weeks. I'm busy. He said, 2 weeks? That's a long time. It'll be under construction very shortly in a couple of weeks. The peak, the highest point
doesn't stop
of death rates. Remember this.
2 weeks.
Is likely to hit in 2 weeks. We have tests coming out perhaps over the next 2 weeks that will blow the whole industry away. And you'll be seeing this over the next couple of weeks.
The coronavirus is disproportionately affecting communities of color. I wanted to know what your administration will do to address this.
We're coming out with a report in 2 weeks on it, and I want to get to the bottom of it, too, because it's a totally disproportional effect. It really is. It's pretty amazing, actually. We will be doing another stimulus package. It'll be very good.
When are you going to do it? When are you going to announce it?
I think over the next, I think it's going to be bipartisan. I think it's going to be over the next couple of weeks, probably.
I want to ask you about minimum wage.
I'll have a statement over the next 2 weeks on minimum wage. We're going to have another exciting news conference over the next, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 weeks? What do you think? Maybe in 100 years from now, maybe in 2 weeks. Who knows? The problem is, folks, they all have a memory, including us. 2 weeks, and we forget.
That's almost a 4-minute compilation of Donald Trump pushing things out for 2 weeks. It's a lot of 2 weeks. Donnie, 2 weeks. It's a cult. They all flip their opinions 180 degrees the minute. It's been a cult. It's been a cult. It's not new. But yes, it's for sure. MAGA is a cult. Yes. Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. After 2 weeks, we forget. Is MAGA a cult? This is all foretold. This was all foretold on the tablets, you guys. MAGA owes this patriot a massive. Apparently you do. Yep, that's your guys' hero now. The spirit of. Oh, I got. Oh boy. Kyle's usually got. There you go. There's your president. Here you go. Crazy work. The same exact like narratives and everything, only like even more Timu somehow. It's probably because of the amount of social media we have in contrast to like 2002-1. We didn't have it, right? You had the internet, but you didn't have social media. You didn't have open. Yeah, I don't even know what open source intelligence would have been like back then. Probably not a thing. Maybe it was in like chat message boards. I don't even know what that would have been. A nightmare trying to track things by yourself back then. But yeah, it's, you can see, I guess, like now that I guess that's a positive of one of the few positives of the modern era, I guess, where like what Trump's doing now, obviously we know would have worked 25 years ago. Unfortunately, you know, they're still trying, but they have a lot of pushback against it because of the advancement in being able to see what's happening and not letting the corporate media tell us, which you can clearly see there will be people that will take the place of the corporate media themselves and post like, yeah, this is actually good. Now, what are you posting here? We have 50 million illegal immigrants who have invaded the United States. Why are you writing this in Hebrew? What is happening? What is going on? The last 5 months have felt like 15 years, so 2 weeks is 2030. Why are you writing in Hebrew about doing MAGA propaganda in Hebrew? The Hodge twins flipped then, actually? Because Hodge twins were like against the war, and now they're for it. Wow. Well, that was quick. Nikki Haley was always shit on within MAGA for being a rhino, and now Nikki Haley's America First because she does the rhino thing. That doesn't make sense over there. Nikki Haley was cast away for being a rhino and being a neocon. And then now Nikki Haley doing neocon things, and she's America First. Do you only appear when war happens? Damn it, Joey. Shut up. Stop making me laugh at your stupid tweets. Damn it. You're agreeing with the worst people ever here. That's what this sucks. That's all this sucks. It all sucks. Defenders of the West. Wow. Defenders or the West? Oh. That's AI is so bad. Yeah. Picture's not even in the West. So that's what happened. You're having the Laura Loomer and other MAGAs like tone police and thought police everybody. Did I tell you that, you guys? I'm telling you that. They're going to do it to you first, MAGA. If you're still a Trump supporter, they're going to come after you for thought police. And then they're going to test all of the Palantir shit on you to make sure you're in line for Trump or not, because you decided to stay in that thing for way too long and you're still a Trump supporter. They're going to come after you if you say, like, Trump should not do this. and then test all that shit, and then after that, then they'll come after the rest of us. But they're already kind of doing that with ICE and other federal agents. But this is some other shit, dude. Laura thought police loomer. Can't say that. You can't, if you're a Trump supporter, you can't say one bad thing about Trump. Promise you can't. Promise you can't. Matter of fact, I bet you won't even post about it. I bet you won't. I bet you if you supported Trump and you are against these strikes and sending us to the Middle East, I bet you still won't post on your social media because you know what'll happen. You know what'll happen. You'll become a lib. Hey, you should stick to your cookie postings, or hey, talk about softball instead, or hey, whoa, keep your political opinions to yourself, Jack. Me and the family don't want to see your politics on Facebook. There's a pro-Putin wing within the party. 2 notable people, one a podcaster and a former television show host, who were literally begging President Trump to let Israel go it alone. Laura thought police loomer. Today, Nikki Haley went on CNBC and called for the U.S. to bomb Iran. Nikki Haley wants more war in the Middle East, which means more dead U.S. soldiers. The only person who has proven that he won't create more wars is Trump. Trump is the pro-peace candidate. Breaking. President Trump confirms the U.S. just bombed all 3 nuclear sites in Iran. He said all U.S. planes are now on their way home. Thank you, President Trump. Based. They're all like this. Okay? And don't try to get upset about it, because they're just fake people. They're fake. Okay? When you realize that they're not like a real human being, because Laura Loomer is not a human. I don't know what she is, but she's not a human being to me. Fucking jigsaw looking, alien looking thing. Thought police Laura Loomer. Being a little sheep herder. The fuck is all that? If you guys missed this one, this is again from Tammy Bruce a little earlier.
The pride of being able to be here and do work that facilitates making things better for people, and in the greatest country on earth, next to Israel. Next to Israel.
You remember how you felt when Charlie Kirk did this poll 10 days ago? Yeah, do a poll, do another one. Charlie Kirk should do the same poll again, and then you'll watch it be flipped, because that's how MAGAs work, because Trump said it's good. You can't go against the king. Go against the king, you're going to get massied. That's what we'll call it. You're going to get massied. Crazy. Crazy times. Said that time again to giving donations to Thomas Massie. I'm not. Oh boy. You got Blake Sniskin here. What do these people got wrong? Tucker, like you mentioned, I question their motives and what's causing these very strange opinions.
What's the thing in the way? What those people get wrong, and Tucker, like you mentioned, and I question their motives also, and what's causing these very strange opinions to be had. What was the thing in the way?
Thank you for monitoring the situation with us. Good night. That's what I'm about to do. Thank you for another day of monitoring the situation. We'll be doing it again tomorrow. I gotta see this now. Speaking of Snake, Hideo Kojima reviewed 28 years later and said it was gas, so that means it's probably legendary. No spoilers. Who's seen it? W or L? I want to see it so bad. Top administration officials insist the U.S. war is now with Iran. Yeah, they lie as soon as they lie as easily as they breathe. Okay, if you're gonna start taking the administration at their word now, you have chosen a very interesting time to do that. They've only lied about everything since he's taken power, even before that. But he's taken power and only lies every day. You hate bad endings. Okay. No spoilers, but I want to see it. I'm going to see it anyways. USA will never bomb Iran. Yeah, how'd that go, Jim Cramer? How did that go, honestly? So far in the stream, guys, we had literally one attack, but one rocket. One ballistic missile from Iran, which at this point was an hour ago, a little over an hour ago. I haven't seen any other responses. Or what, if there's going to be a big coordinated response by Iran, we haven't seen that. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, hello. I'd play Repo again, Mod Danky, but I don't think it'd be the same without our crew we had last night. Hello, hello. Isn't Israel running low on interceptors? I thought I saw something about that a few days ago. It doesn't seem like it. Seems like Iran has run low on ballistic missiles, though, compared to the attacks we were seeing last week and what we're looking at right now, where we had one today. And also with the reports of the lack of air defense from Iran, the U.S. went in and went out without any, well, thankfully, any return fire and danger of our airmen. But the air defense was not there, according to the reports from the Pentagon this morning, and when we've already seen one response from Iran now. All clear sounded yet? Yeah, it's been a while. It's been over an hour now. Yeah, the Repo game was super fun, but I don't think it'd be the same without Tevo and our friends. Guys, make sure, again, double check, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, you're following Twitch, Facebook. We'll be monitoring the situation all week and beyond, however this goes. Of course, all the protest coverage, breaking news, semi-truck in the feed. Trying to decide what game I'd want to play later. You have so many, but I'm in the mood for a different one. He said preemptive strikes and wars before they start. Just we'll never know because the war never happens. What do you mean? Play Age of Empires. We'll play Death Stranding tomorrow after softball and Tuesday and Wednesday because Death Stranding 2 comes out on Thursday. I need something beyond story mode though tonight. Even though it is a good story. Age of Empires is good. I should try Portal. More Repo. You can't. It's not the same without Tevo and all of our friends. Age of Empires 2. I don't have that game. We don't have that one. Should it be there for whatever? Fine. NCAA football. Broken Arrow. I don't want to burn myself out on it. I haven't tried Siege. You guys play Siege? Play Sims within our Iranian family? Oh boy. Take a peep at Schedule 1. What do you think of it? Repo, Minecraft, I've played Destiny my whole life. My whole life. From 2014 on. But I fell off of Destiny 2 though. I don't play Fortnite. Armory Forager. That's obviously an option. Arma's super cool. We play it every Tuesday, Thursday. We got a big mill sim community that we play with. Oh yeah. One of those situations where I have so many games. Have I tried the new Claire? I want to. Claire Obscure. We were playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 when that game came out, which that game will be up for Game of the Year. Do I play Ark? I have in the past, but I never got into it. I never could get into that one. I tried. I wish there was more Division content out. Gray Zone, it's good, but like I want more, so I'll wait for another update. Like I played it and experienced it, and the update's really good, but now I'm waiting for the next thing. We got Tony Hawk coming up in July. Revisit Cyberpunk. Still got the live of Tel Aviv up though, guys. While I'm browsing other things in the background. If you're new to the stream, welcome. We've had breaking news mostly every single day this week with everything happening in Iran and back and forth with Israel. The U.S. is involved now directly. And a lot of the information, we just kind of have to wait for it. So, sorry I don't have like everything for you guys immediately, but sometimes you have to just wait. It's like the military. You got to hurry up and wait. create a poll with a handful of game choices. Play Dead Island. I played that one. Dead Island 2 is great. And the first one. There's so many good choices. I'm waiting for the Squad Unreal Engine 5 update too. KHS says beyond a blatant act of inexcusable aggression, the question of provocation gets murky. Most European, Asian, Middle Eastern publics are dead set against any American military action. Yeah, Americans are too. Most of Americans are. Don't let the cooked takes on the internet fool you. Like the majority of Americans are against intervention in the Middle East. Probably wouldn't have been the same after 9/11 right away. You probably would have had the majority of Americans for it, but after 21 plus years of war on terror, Americans are tired. They're done. Not everyone, but I would say the overwhelming majority. Could I do the no return mode in Last of Us 2? I'm kind of like waiting now for season 3 of, because they like cut the second game in 2 seasons. So now the second season was terrible, and now you got to watch the third season with Abby, and nobody likes Abby. Season 3 in 2027. Oh, wow. Did I want to go to war when I was in the military? No, I just needed a direction. No, I needed a purpose, I guess. I was just skipping class when I was 19 and just smoking weed and not doing anything. Not being productive while smoking weed. Just doing that. And so I stopped doing that and then joined the military instead. Big safety meeting. Same though. Yeah, it's a lot. It's like that a lot. It's often like that. I mean, you have like some that'll join and want to go to war, but like honestly, that you don't want. I mean, I guess maybe the soldiers that go into special forces or infantry, but like if you have a dude that's like all gung ho about going to fight, that's usually a person you don't want, because they're gonna feed that thirst they have or whatever for war and get people killed. But I mean, as you get into the professional like special forces and whatnot, I mean, those guys are, but they're not like you. There's like maybe a couple that can be. They usually become more cringe when they get out, and then they become vet bros on podcasts. But like while they're in, it's like there's a level of professionalism where you're not like excited to go to war, but you're prepared or you're trained, so it could like appear that you're just ready. It's just that I don't think there's really excitement there, but there are people that are like that, but again, they're not someone you'd want in your foxhole with you because they're gonna make mistakes. And I don't understand why your name remains in black. I have checked that all my payments are in order. Thank you. I don't know, Iman. You talking about a membership on YouTube? Don't call me a foxhole. Foxhole 99. Yeah, we saw the trailer for Black Ops 7. I'm not interested. I'm off of Call of Duty. 2 games I'm not buying this year: Madden and Call of Duty. Nope. Neither one. Mod Nicky goes, apparently Schumer was called just before the strikes yesterday and Hakeem Jeffries couldn't be reached. Interesting. Why not Call of Duty? It's just not for me anymore. I think I'm too old for it now, or not the type of game I want, I guess. Like, yeah, you know, I'm streaming Arma. You want to watch a better game than Call of Duty? Here, this game will get you off of Call of Duty. Fuck it. That was either going to be Arma or Squad, because I want to play Squad again. Or Hell Let Loose isn't bad either. Hell Let Loose is another one I was looking at here. I have, how many hours of Hell Let Loose do I have? That's World War II, though, which is still fine. That might be not bad to go back and play that again. Just to mix, I wanted to mix it up. Like, Arma's great. That's, I just don't want to get burned out on it. DCS is good, too. You've gone back onto Game Boy? That happens. What about the PSP? You guys ever play PSP? Broken Arrow? I want to not get burned out on that. We played it for like the last 3 days or so. I'm going to give it some time, let it update a little, have some friends on. Can't wait for Tony Hawk's Skater 3 and 4 to come out. I have the first two. We'll be playing Tony Hawk's coming up in a couple weeks before 3 and 4 come out. I have the first two already. Okay, we'll do a poll. Those that are going to watch my gaming stream. If you're not watching my gaming stream, I'm not leaving yet, so you can stick around for a second. Maybe an air raid alarm will go off or something. Game stream. You guys can choose here. These are your choices. Have I heard of Schedule 1? Yes. I'm gonna throw a curveball in. I'm throwing a curveball. Ask Siri. What? No. Curveball. Is that 4 options for later? Armory Forager, Hell Let Loose, Squad, or Jurassic World Evolution? No repo without friends. It wouldn't be the same. As repo is, I think you can play it single player, but what kind of fun? What would that be? Just gonna make myself laugh. You have to say Hell Let Loose. Vote in the poll. Looks like Jurassic World Evolution's winning though. Vote in the poll. Jurassic World Evolution got far in the poll last week. Ended up not playing it. Raptors would be scary. The third game looks super good. Damn, between Hell Let Loose is edging out Arma. You stopped playing games for money after 2005. You had to work for the nation. Oh, I did, yeah. I play games because I like it. Any tank games out there? Yeah, you got World of Tanks. Or which one's better? There's the World of Tanks and there's another one, right? I don't know which one is the one to play. I couldn't get into either of them. What's the other one? The other one I think might be a little better because you can play with more than tanks. I just can't remember the name of it. When does it do GTA come out next year? Got less than a year now. May 26th, 2026. Yeah, War of Thunder, that one. Yeah. Apparently infantry are coming. I think that might have just been a troll, but we'll see. Yeah, War Blunder. Battlefield sucks now. Play more games like Pools or the Backrooms? You want me to? Have you guys ever heard of the Stanley Parable? That'd be a fun Friday or a Sunday night game. Yeah, Stanley Parable's super good. I got the Ultra Deluxe one. Play some Minecraft. Oh god, don't tell Tevo. Other than the violent left causing trouble, all this will be forgotten in a week. The violent left causing trouble. Where are the violent left causing trouble? How's June? I haven't tried it. I'm scared to get into it, and then I'll be into it like I was Destiny, and then I'll only play that. Subdued mood in the chat because it's a Sunday and people are burned out. Probably that's why. It's just a flood. People have been flooded. The zone is flooded with information right now. Okay, people are tired. That's why. That's why it's subdued. It's also a Sunday. I feel like Saturday and Sunday went by. It's been like regular weekdays here. Didn't even get a weekend. That's why. Weather's been warm too. I couldn't get into Elden Ring. It's a skill issue. I can't play Soulsborne games. Elden Soulsborne, can't play them. Skill issue. Just tuning in. Any missiles fired tonight? We had one salvo of literally one rocket reported, and it didn't breach Tel Aviv airspace here. The camera zoomed up. We had the air raid alarms go off, notification and everything, and nothing came in. It was intercepted. We didn't see the intercept. It was reported. There's a video clip, but nothing like if you were expecting like a massive wave. We're not going to have that. It doesn't appear. Last night, though, it came in about 11 o'clock my time. About 11:30 p.m. my time, there was an attack on Tel Aviv. The war is over, is it? Is it over? It's just begun. We're just in the opening act. Everyone in the chat is on the right, you can tell. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. MAGA, did you hear that? We're right wing now. You hate the left, right? I hate the right left. What do you mean? You're probably getting deployed to the Middle East, fuck. What branch are you in? Hope not. Hope you don't. I really hope you don't. Yeah, I see you, Yvonne. I'm not sure what's going on with YouTube there. I wish I had more control over that end on like I can check. I'll go through my entire member list on YouTube and see if you pop up. I'm gonna need a little time though. But I'll look personally on it, Yvonne. I see you. We see you. What'd you miss? Not beyond this morning. Today, I mean, we had various, takes and opinions. You had one salvo, one ballistic missile, but it was intercepted, and this was like an hour and a half ago, almost 2 hours ago now. Steve's still streaming? Yeah, Steve will be up all night with it. So I just for me, I have ADHD. That's really bad, and I can't just sit here and look at a skyline. I'm sorry, and just come up with things to say. I'm trying. I'm trying so hard. But I'm the type where I work well when things are actually happening. When things aren't happening, I just can't I don't know what it is. I don't know if I got to get better at that. Where it's man, nothing's happening right now. Let me find something. I guess I got to work on that a little bit, maybe. I hate you all who did. I want to end the Iraq war in the 2009. You should probably gauge my community in chat before just popping off. You're going to have people laughing. Yeah, 2002 Anthrax, the majority of the chat is against the war, okay? Holy shit, dude. The overwhelming majority of my chat is against. To be fair, this is a lot of nothing watching Skyline. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I mean, it's still, it's a live feed, and, you know, we can get first-hand information, but, like, you really got to wait. You got to be committed to it. It's much easier during, like, the weekdays, I guess, when, like, you know, they're at work. Like, this week, actually, there'll probably be a lot to talk about while we're watching the Skyline. With the Congress coming back for Tuesday, they've been on vacation during all of this. There'll be things to keep an eye out for this week. So I'll call it side mission stories while we're tracking the main story right now, which is the war with Iran and whether, like, the scope and scale of the U.S. involvement, what it's looking like, what the response from Iran is. That'll all have, like, you can guess and what if yourself, but honestly, you're not going to find out until it happens. You won't know until it happens. Or if it does, right? Right now, I'm going to be honest. If you're asking what I feel, I already made it abundantly clear. I do not want a Middle Eastern war, another involvement of the U.S. involved. However, also seeing, I guess not a however, also, Iran's response does not, like, make me feel like they'd be equipped to want to be the... I just don't see Iran's capabilities right now in response to the attacks as something to fear, I guess, right? Like, overall, there's fear of the U.S. joining, but I'm going based off of what we're seeing from Iran, and their response has been less intimidating and more time like, hey, you know, make sure for example, let's get that Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie legislation in so that Congress can take back control before this administration takes us into something that we can't come back from, which is what they clearly want to do when Trump's tweeting out regime change, etc. But when we're seeing, you know, one ballistic missile attack in contrast to what Iran was launching at Tel Aviv last week, and then also, again, the reports from the press conference today that Iran did not have working air defense systems, that doesn't really tell me that, you know, hey, like, I'm not trying to sound like I'm double speaking by saying, like, hey, the Iranian response was weak and whatever. Like, I think both things can be true. I think that the U.S. intervention in this war is stupid and should not happen, and we should not get involved in a prolonged Middle Eastern war. But also, Iran's response is not something that I'm looking at right now, at least right now, as we're watching this play out, as something to, like, invoke fear into you about. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not gonna be super scared, like, oh god, Iran's response any second now, what's gonna happen? We're all gonna get nuked or something insane. Right? Obviously, the fear is being drawn into a 20-year-long prolonged war, which Iran can do that with their proxy terror groups, and just have us fighting insurgents again for 20 plus years or more. And that's really where my fear is. But also, again, just Iran's response has not been one that is something to be in grave fear of at this point. I should just put that. But of course, that can always change here. You know, maybe Iran's stocking up their missiles after launching a bunch of them at Tel Aviv last week. But again, I'm just guessing now, right? Maybe. What if, maybe. That's all we really have is maybes and what ifs right now. Unless we see like Iran moving their troops, they close the strait. But we're not really seeing that yet. Probably see stuff tomorrow. It's literally all laid out in which path to Persia, options for a new American strategy toward Iran. Is it now? Iran got the piss pounded out of them. I don't think that's true either. I mean, I guess, okay, in terms of like their air defense getting hit and all of, okay, yeah, like Israel's been striking those. So I guess you might not be wrong with that. But in terms of like the U.S. strikes, who knows? We don't even have a battle damage assessment, you know? We don't even have a, did we destroy capabilities? We just don't know. Like we have no idea. How damaged is the facility? Did they move? Is it confirmed that they moved all of their uranium to a different facility before the U.S. was able to strike? All valid concerns. All very valid concerns. So if you're asking, if you're wondering, like, hey, have we had a big response from Iran yet? Then I would say no. And I don't even know if it'll be a yet. I don't know what that's going to look like, so I don't even want to say yet. It's going to go off of what happens. Rick, check what Vance said. He conceded that they might not have hit anything at all. Did he? Wait. Oh, in the Meet the Press this morning? Yeah. Hutch put out every country with a capable military does all kinds of military exercises during peacetime. Yeah, that got thrown at me too. I agree with Hutch on this. Running training and military exercises is not the same at all as literally carrying out bombing runs and sending us into a war. That's what I'm with Hutch on that. Don't listen to Paul. Paul wrong. This is after the politicians were assassinated. Well, it had been a week ago now. When was this event? I missed this. So that was at the Capitol in Minnesota after we had Melissa Hortman murdered and her husband and their dog by Vince Bolter last week. And that shit just continues. Level of political violence is just out of hand in the United States. Out of hands. Out of hand. Yep, and the dog. So not I mean, it's just we had the No Kings rally still the same day. People still went out and protested anyways in Minnesota. All right. I'm gonna make a command decision. Make a command decision here. Yeah, I got to get it ready though first. So we're going to stay with Tel Aviv until I get it built. Built and ready. It's been so long. Gotta get it ready. Shout out to if you guys have been watching the stream. Today is a Sunday. I usually don't stream Sundays, but if there's breaking news, we got breaking news. It is what it is. It is what it is. We had news this morning. We're up early with the press conference. Gonna have lots more just breaking news and daytime streams covering everything that's happening. Make it brighter. There we go. I'm overriding Jurassic World. I'm sorry. I need something else tonight. I'm a little tired still too, but I'm not. It's like I'm tired, but I'm not. If I try to go lay in bed and go to bed, I won't be able to. So it's one of those situations. You ever get like that where like you're tired, but your mind isn't? We will play Jurassic Park though soon because the third one comes out by the end of the year, and I can't wait. How do you know what game I'm picking? How do you know what game I'm picking? There will be Jurassic Park though. I'm telling you. I'll tell you this. There will be. I played all of them. How the hell do you know what game I'm playing? I even showed you. Gotta get it downloaded. I don't have it. It's one of my favorite games, so I'm okay with it. I have 150 hours in it. 150 hours. Oil futures. Yeah, we went over that a little earlier. Not looking good. Looking like gas prices are going to be going up here. I should get the Final Fantasy Tactics remake. Oh man, I never got into Final Fantasy, like any of them. Is that bad? There are some great ones, some are crap. Okay, so it's like pick and choose. I don't have to play like every single Final Fantasy game. I tried them when I was a kid on PlayStation 1. And I was like, what is this? Put Snake back in. Give me Twisted Metal. We got okay. Of course, obviously, guys, because we're staying with this story through the weekend and all through the week. You know, if something does major happen tonight, Sunday night, we'll come back over here. Okay. So if gaming isn't your thing, try it. No, I'm kidding. You should though. Come on over to the gaming channel. You'll have a good time. At least hang out for a bit. I don't play all the same type of games, but when I do, they're good. Play a bunch of different games. All right, it's been decided. It's been decided. Full send. We're going to World War II. Right, that's what we're doing tonight. Hell let loose. World War II. I haven't played it in so long. We've been playing all Modern Warfare games. Modern games. So we're gonna go play this one. It's good. It's a really good game. Really good game. You used to play the old Medal of Honor games on PlayStation or Brothers in Arms. All the old World War II games. This is like the magnum opus of all that. So come and check it out. All right, guys. Especially if you think you like Call of Duty, and I'll show you something better. Because you can play this on PlayStation and Xbox, I think. All right, you guys. That concludes today's special Sunday coverage. Special Sunday news report operation coverage, I guess. Between the exchange, we had one ballistic missile coming to Tel Aviv that we covered live. Had the air raid alarm go off. Various takes across the social media. Donald Trump calling for regime change on Iran. This morning we had there was more in the stream this morning, to be honest, with the press conference and Operation Hammerhead, or what's it called? Operation Whispering Eye. Operation Midnight Hammer. Okay, Operation Midnight Hammer. You guys can rewatch that stream. We had the press conference and all the information is there. All right, you guys have a fantastic rest of your night. Come and hang out on Mercado Gaming. Mercado Gaming on YouTube, Twitch, until I get that 1440p at least. I'm doing YouTube streams only. I'm sorry, 1080p is not. I want higher quality. Okay, so I'll multi-stream my gaming to Twitch as soon as it's possible, and I've replied, and hopefully I get accepted. So come on over, you guys. Mercado Gaming on my gaming channel. There it is. Looks just like that. I'll beam you all to it. If not, have a good rest of your night. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Thank you to all the new members and all the support on the stream. And I'll see you guys on the next one tomorrow. Peace.